is another wonderful Wednesday night sports delight because this is ladies' night. Oh, and shout out to our favorite viewer. Hi, Miss Williams.
Miss Williams.
Brought to you by none other than Smoooth.
That's whenever you see Joanne, not Joe.
Oh, the alter ego.
Roll down.
Look, I would have had this on if I had known it was going to be that kind of party, but apparently.
And that's just my one excuse to look silly on the sidelines, and I'm totally okay with it because I'm doing my job.
All right, Coach Willis. Well, speaking of
new football fans, you got the Swifties that are all about football, and Travis Kelce's Instagram, I think his followers went up 300,000+.
Telling y'all, when you get on this show on the Ladies Night, boy, I tell you, you are bringing people's careers to a whole nother level. I'm telling you. So here.
Everyone, welcome to the Platform Sports Talk Show. It's your girl, Buddy. I'm glad y'all are here to join us for another wonderful evening.
And want the teams that want you back, St. Louis. I want that football.
I was like, well, Brandon, does Michelle Smallman text you at 11:45 at night?
You let them know, right? No matter the time, it came through, right?
Yes, I thought that was really dope.
She seems to cause a buzz because you know what? Bad publicity, good publicity, they're talking about it.
So for some of these guys, they're like, even if I do win, it's not going to be enough for some people. So why don't I just go ahead and get the money?
Living the dream. I think all the time. I'm a dream catcher, right? So I chased the dream and I caught it.
Because I took this crazy leap of faith in May of 2011 at 23 years old to buy a basketball team. And everyone thought I had lost my mind.
Just kind of shed light, women coaches, like, hey, we bring it too. we bring it.
What up? It's a hump day. What does that mean? Ladies' night. It's your girl, Bunny, and I welcome you all to another wonderful edition of Ladies' Night on the Platform Sports Talk Show. And please, everyone that is tuning in, if you're on Facebook, make sure you leave all comments under the Platform Sports Talk Show page. And when you interact with us, we interact with you. And if you're not on Facebook, that's okay. You can always tune in on YouTube and go to the Platform Sports Talk Show page. Make sure you subscribe and click on that bell, baby, because anytime we go live, you will be notified. Like notified right now because we live. Also, we are on Hot 365 Radio, where it's always and for all my people that like Twitch, you can tune into us on Twitch as well. And even though it's the first Wednesday night of the month, on the last Wednesday night of the month, we have the fellas holding it down with the man cave. Of course, they're trying to outdo us, but you know how the ladies, we run the world. So tune in to the man cave last Wednesday or the first Wednesday, ladies' night. And of course, ladies' night cannot just be ladies' night with just Bunny hosting. Now, of course, I got my girl all the way from the boonies, Jobo. Come on down.
Hey, buddy. Happy Wednesday. Oh, man.
Wait a minute. Right. I'm like, that sounded a little dry. If Sasha heard you, she'll be like, whoa. Run it back.
I had some in my throat. Happy Wednesday. Wake up.
That's what I'm talking about.
Or you can go pop. It's gonna be May. And it's May, baby. It's my birthday month.
Oh, it's your birthday. Because you want
me and the hubby. So I'll be the big 3-0.
How many days apart are your birthdays?
All right, well, mine's the 16th, his the 17th. He's just a year older than me.
Wait, y'all planned to have y'all birthdays a day apart from y'all planned this. Y'all knew
we planned it
with each other and you did a day apart. Oh my gosh. So what's more like with the present? Is it in May? Since y'all birthdays are by each other or Christmas? Like What gets better gifts? Like, that's crazy.
Probably Christmas still. He'll kill me if I put it on the air, but he's said it himself before. There's one year he forgot my birthday, and I gave him so much shit about it because how do you forget your wife's birthday when hers is the day before yours?
Right.
Oh man, I remember he was like, I was getting out of the car to go into work, and I was like, you forget something? All right, well, I'll see you later. And then once he realized, he was like, oh shit. And we left work early. We dipped. We said, peace out, ESI. We went to go get some Cold Stone. But,
okay.
But yeah, he makes fun of himself. That happened years ago. So I forgive him. Now I just like giving him shit. But yeah, happy May. It's exciting. Baseball's in full effect. Brewskis are in full effect like always. And, yeah. But beautiful weather today too.
I'm telling you, baby. I'm like, ugh. I have to be in the office tomorrow, so it's supposed to be beautiful tomorrow. So I took in what I could today. You know, those lunch breaks, get a little fresh air, and I should have walked. I didn't. I'm gonna do better though. But yeah, I like this, and it wasn't raining, casting dogs, and thundering. I dealt with that a few nights ago. Somebody coming into my room scared. I was like, oh gosh, it's okay. Calm her down. And I was like, we got probably a few more weeks of little storms, and we should be past that.
I'm tired of it already. It rained so much over the weekend. That was depressing. So I like how today's been.
Mm-hmm. What else we got going on here? So somebody wants to say hi real quickly.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi.
You look older. I haven't seen you in like a month, and she looks older.
And taller. We got Frick, here's Fred. We got Bluey, here's Bingo. So anyway, hey, real quick, say hi so we can finish doing our work. It's ladies' night, not babies' night. Ladies' night. Say hello. Now look, at the promo video though, I was looking at it, I was like, I remember she was like 4 or 5 months old, and now look how much bigger she looked from like 2 years ago. Okay.
Sad.
Baby's night is over with now. Have fun, y'all. So anyway, let's see.
Hey, Miss Dub.
Our favorite viewer. Hi, Miss Dub.
Hi, Mrs. Bunny.
No, her name is Miss Dub, not Mrs. Bunny.
Excuse me,
I choose my name for somebody else.
Excuse me, Mommy.
So real quickly, we have what's in our cup, right? You have a can of beer, but we're gonna improvise it as a cup for you. So I have a cup as well.
I did take a little shot before the show, so I got my mini red Solo cup.
I love it. So, well, you tell me either what's in a Solo cup or what's in a Budweiser candy, or is it Michelob you drinking?
Yeah, Michelob.
Yeah, what we got going on?
I wouldn't think I'd be saying this for May 1st in Major League Baseball. The Oakland Athletics have my attention. I know this isn't the same thing, but what's in my cup? Oakland A's, y'all. They're in 3rd place, 2.5 out of the division. They just went on the road and split a series in the Bronx, won a series against the O's, and then they just swept the Pirates at home. They're rolling right now. I don't know what's going on. It's weird. They're in 3rd place. And it's good because the Oakland fans need something because, all their sports teams treat them like crap. But especially with the A's and their owner and whatnot, it's rough. So this is fun for them. Who knows how long it'll last? Maybe they'll surprise us and win the division somehow. But it's been really cool and exciting to see the A's play some good baseball.
How about those A's? So real quickly, Miss Dove says she's drinking red wine. I'm not a connoisseur, but I had some red wine earlier, but it was sweet. Most people think of red wine as not supposed to be sweet, but I'm not a. What's that? One of the worst ones I don't like is Merlot. That's not my thing. Or what's another type of red wine?
Miss Dubs, tell us what kind of red wine you're drinking, and do you like the sweet stuff? Do you like the dry wine? I'm a fan of the dry wine.
You're like my friend. I don't like dry wine. I definitely don't like. She likes Pinot Grigio. That's too dry. Like no, my palate should not be like I'm missing something that's a little dry. No, my palate should be like, oh, this is good and still moist, you know. Now,
Brendan likes the Arbor Mist.
girl, that's like soda. I'm mad at Brendan.
All right, hold on. It's the grape juice that he likes, you know, the Arbor Mist. But I will say he's been drinking those Monster. It's not energy drinks, but they just taste exactly like Monsters, but they're alcohol now. So he loves those things.
Okay. And we're speaking about your A's. The Oakland City is just screwed. They have taken the Raiders, and the A's are about to leave too. You know, they're going to head to Vegas as well. And it's not even the fan base's fault. They have a good fan base. It's just greedy owners and the fact that people just wanted the latest, greatest, pretty big thing. Hence, what they do with the Rams. You know, they just screwed us. Go and get a big new stadium. Like what?
Yeah. Well, real quick, it's a red blend. She said she likes the dry, full-bodied reds. I've never heard of those two right there, but I'll have to.
Yeah, school us, Miss Joe. School us. I guess we'll have to try it and see if I like it.
But in regards to the A's, like it's sad because like Ross Stripling, he's one of their veteran starters that they signed this offseason, and he was saying that like, you know, the clubhouse is feeling good, happy, and that they think that they have a type of farm system that the O's had. You know, now the O's are all in the majors playing great baseball. The sad thing is the A's have never had a problem with bringing up kids and having good talent. They trade all of them. I mean, Matt Olson with the Braves, he was an Oakland A. Matt Chapman with the Giants, Oakland A. Sean Murphy with the Braves, he was like they've had so much talent in the past. They just always trade it and sell off. And I mean, when that place has good talent and they're winning ball games, it's a really cool place to watch ball games at. But the owners just don't care.
Greed over everything, right? Right. So we'll see how long it lasts. I mean, it's been almost a month since we had a eclipse, so maybe this is the after effect of the eclipse. We'll see if this can keep going or not. But I will say this in my cup, some NBA playoffs, baby. Now, you know, RIP to our producer's favorite team, my husband's favorite team, the Lake Show. They weren't swept, but one game extra and then they were gone. So, yeah, but I have started paying attention to these other playoff teams, such as the Timberwolves. The Timberwolves did a sweep on the Suns. I've been paying attention to what the New York Knicks have been doing. Now, they have Philadelphia 76ers on the verge of being eliminated. And that's surprising to me because, you know, I don't think Doc Rivers is a great coach. Decent. Not good, decent. But when he gets his teams in the playoffs, they don't tend to go far enough. And it's all the same song, different team. Ask the LA Clippers, ask the Philadelphia 76ers, and soon to be Milwaukee Bucks, same thing. They collapse. Now, granted, he's not coaching the 76ers now, and they're on the verge of being eliminated. And that's why I was surprised. I thought with the change of coaches that they'll be better as far as in the playoffs and especially in the first round, that their scheme would be different, but it's not. But as far as the Bucks, they're in trouble. And again, Doc is coaching them, so that they're going to make it to the second round. If they do, great. If not, they ain't going to go for it. But here nor there, I'm still intrigued. OKC, Shy is doing his damn thing. It's just good to see the next superstars. Because, again, I said the Timberwolves are clowning. The Oklahoma City Thunder. I mean, this is on the Western Conference, but the fact that it's exciting for the new group to take over because LeBron's out of those playoffs right now. Steph, Clay, they out the playoffs right now. So the people we've been seeing over the last 4 or 5 years, or hell, the last 10 years consistently in the playoffs are not in. Their teams are eliminated. So now you really see who is your next generation that's going to be in these playoffs year after year. So
it's kind of like how baseball was last year. There's a lot of teams in the playoffs that haven't been in the playoffs in a long time, you know? So it's weird, but it's good for the game for fans to see other players. And I will say, be B was watching a game. I don't remember what game he was watching, but he was intrigued by some game last night. Was it the Knicks? I think it might have been the Knicks. But so they even had the husband looking at, doing dishes, watching his phone.
Oh, I love it. Especially because some of these playoff games have gone to last minute shots, which is how some people treat it, where they're like, if they're fair weather fans, tuning in the fourth quarter. And I get it. I mean, but it's highlights throughout the game. But, when you get it close with these 20-point leads that disappeared and wire for wire, when I watched the Mavericks against the who was it? The Mavericks playing today almost not the Jazz. Who the Mavericks playing?
Smooth. Put it in the chat.
Clippers.
Okay.
Clippers 20-point lead and almost fell apart. And that was like, damn. The Lakers did the same thing, but they did fall apart. They had a 20-point lead, disappeared, and they lost their game. Clippers held on. But it's crazy that it's, exciting at the playoff because you get these closer games. But anyway, well, it's not ladies' night without, of course, a wonderful guest. And before I bring her on, Miss Dub says she's surprised the Sixers aren't doing better with Embiid on their team. Well, one player cannot carry you the whole way, though, Miss Dub, unfortunately. Y'all, honestly, in the playoffs, the big difference from regular season playoffs, besides you play the same team for multiple games, your adjustments and your bench, the bench. So think about it. You're playing the same team, unlike the regular season where it's different teams night after night. Playoff, same team. You have to be able to withstand scoring. So when your stars are resting, it's a gruesome, a lot of games, and it's the same. And everybody's competing really good on these levels in the playoffs. Your bench has to keep scoring. If your bench sucks, you're kind of screwed. So the 76ers bench is okay, but it could be much better. Let me tell you that. Look at the Thunder's bench. Look at even the Nuggets bench. Some of these teams, like they can go far because the scoring will still be going while their stars are resting. So that's my 2 cents on that. And without further ado, let's bring on our special guest on Ladies Night. Let me give you a quick introduction. I'm glad you asked about our special guest, Miss Tiffany Buchanan. She is not a stranger to St. Louis. Of course she's not. Why? Because she's in the education system. She has, has a lot of titles, not just an educator. Of course she's a wife. Of course she's a mother. Of course she's an author. Of course she loves sports. And last but not least, she is a assistant basketball coach, head volleyball coach, instructional coach, athletic director. And after all of that, besides being education, she has taken on a new role as the assistant superintendent of curriculum and instructor. If I didn't know any better, I feel like this lady's trying to compete with Michelle Obama with all these accolades she's done. So without further ado, let's bring her on, Miss Tiffany Buchanan.
Hey.
Hello.
Thanks for having me.
Hey, we are excited that you took some of your time out of that busy schedule with all education accolades, and we're still in the school year that you had time for us, okay?
I know I had to get my husband together real quick and say, there's some things that you have to do this evening, cook, help my daughter. So
I love it. I love when we get to switch hats. Then they'd be like, yeah, I appreciate you. I'm like, I bet you do. Now you see how I feel.
Exactly.
Get them ready, get the clothes, get them bathed, and everybody still wants to eat, and people want to eat all the time. So, right. So glad to hear, Miss Tiffany. And if you don't mind, we're gonna get right to the steak and potatoes of this.
Let's do it.
Joe Ball, you want to do the famous question that we like to ask our guests when they first come on the show?
Sure. What would you say made you like? When did you first fall in love with sports?
Ooh, probably. Let's see. I was maybe 5 or 6. My brothers played AAU basketball, and so traveling with them, watching them compete at high levels, I instantly fell in love with the game, and then started playing basketball myself in the 3rd grade, and just continued to play basketball. Ended up picking up volleyball and softball in middle school and high school. So I was pretty young when I fell in love with basketball, thanks to my brothers.
Are you the youngest?
Of my mom's 4, yes, I'm the youngest.
Okay. Were they all boys?
The oldest is a girl. She plays sports too.
Okay.
And then the boys traveled more so with their sports than my sister did.
Gotcha.
So we traveled quite a bit with them playing while they were playing sports. So fun times.
Man, that background pictures, I'm slacking. I mean,
Although I was gonna ask, I would be like, hold up.
let's
Do you like
do
shoes or
it.
something? Do you like shoes?
What?
Let's take a wild guess here. You like
Listen,
Nike.
not like love. It's so funny because so I work in education now, but I work at central office. But anytime I'm in middle school or high school, I always wear sneakers. And so the students are like, how do you have those? Where do you get those? But it's so funny because my feet haven't grown since 7th grade. So a lot of the shoes, you know, are just have resurfaced, and I keep them in boxes because I rarely wear them. But I'm definitely a true sneakerhead.
So you got a big collection?
I do.
Yeah.
My husband does too, and he'll say that I have more than he does, but I mean, I don't know. And so just by default, my kids are also sneakerheads.
Wow.
That one right there. Shoes are pretty pricey these days. I don't know if it is cheaper than therapy.
It's a form of my therapy.
Form
I
of
do
therapy,
have a
yeah.
therapist too, you know, and I do talk about my shoe addiction.
You can call it retail therapy. That's what I'll say.
That's exactly. Come on, Bunny. That's exactly what it is.
And those are dope though. I'm loving that. Look, we had MTV Cribs here. I'll be like, show us the shoe closet. You and your husband. Like, I'll be
There's definitely a room just full of shoes. So
dope. That's dope. Yeah. So, and you said your feet haven't grown since 7th grade. I mean, I guess it's difficult. Well, since I have size 10 in women, since it's not the smallest, it's not the super big, but it's not super small. I used to be the person wearing tennis shoes, be like kind of conscious about it. But you know, further into adulthood, the more adult problems you deal with, stuff like that is on the back burner. I'm gonna wear my shoes, and no matter how big they make my feet look. So I wear men's shoes. Sometimes I wear women. It don't matter. I'm like, I don't even care. I got other problems. I'm gonna just rock my shoes and keep it moving.
wear the tennis shoes. Here's one of this is my baby girl. She just had to say hi.
Hey, welcome.
I said welcome. Okay.
I love it. I love it. How old is she?
She's 8. She's the youngest of 3.
Okay, all right. I'm here for it. So that's
Trying to get her into basketball too. She's like I was at this age. We live in the gym with my middle son, but she's like, I don't want to play basketball yet.
Okay, well that's okay. Please, we'll give you time to make your mind up. You may want to be a cheerleader. You may want to be a coach. I mean, mommy got a lot of hats she wears. I know you wear a whistle. I know you wear a basketball coach, trainer, all that. So we got time.
I actually have a picture of us when I was coaching volleyball. She was right there on the sidelines with me, kind of bending down as I was talking to players. She was right there in the midst.
I love it. I love it. I figured Joe's daughter's gonna be like that because Joe's a softball player. So when she gets her exposure to softball, eventually Joe may start coaching. Her daughter's gonna be right there, like, slide. What you doing, pitch back? I can see me being a Joe Jr. when it comes to softball.
Yeah,
That's what I've been saying though. I don't want to be. I was intense. I don't want to be intense when she's playing t-ball, you know? I don't want to be all up in her face. But it's funny because she's been saying lately that because she loves Christmas. She goes, Mom, it's not Christmas anymore. It's baseball time. Like she's been saying
Nice.
that. And I'm just like, that's my baby. That's my baby.
I love it. I love it. So Miss Tiffany, since your first love was basketball, at your daughter's age, you said she's 8 now. Were you already on a team at 8 years of age, or when did you start playing on?
Yep, 8 or 9. I started playing basketball, and then I didn't get into traveling though until about 7th grade. So yeah, I started pretty young playing.
Did I freeze on y'all?
No, I think it's her. No.
Wait, Tiff, come back. Let me put. Oh. Uh-oh.
Hi. Hi. Hi.
Long time no see. Okay, everyone. Sorry about the technical difficulties. We'll wait for Miss Tiffany to chime back in. Hopefully sooner than later. Yeah. Well, Jobo. Okay. Well, we'll wait. Well, I'm sorry until she comes back on. We can hit on a couple other topics. We're talking about basketball with Tiffany. We can mention about WNBA players such as Candace Parker, who just announced her retirement a couple of days ago. WNBA player Miss Candace Parker is hanging up the tennis shoes, at least on the court. So when I was thinking that, I was like, Candace Parker was one of my favorite players. Like, I followed her when she was at Tennessee. So I'm going back before she hit WNBA. I'm like, that girl was dope. Truly, truly, truly gonna miss her. Definitely represents Chi-Town to the fullest. She did a great job on the court. Her stats is great.
How long was she in the league?
Let's see if I can pull it up faster than my producer. What was her career? She had, how many years did you have, Candace Parker? Oh crap.
I was gonna ask also is like how long is an average Tiffany's back, but how long is an average WNBA career?
Of course it can vary, but excuse me, I'm so sorry. Tiffany's back. Oh,
I have no idea what happened, y'all. I'm so sorry.
It's okay. We always say this, once the pandemic happened, obviously it was horrible, but it gave the platform Sports Talk show a lot of, positives with having special guests and whatnot, but technology sucks sometimes and it happens. But now we got you back.
My daughter came running downstairs. Are you still on? What happened?
I'm glad you're tuning in though. Great fan. I'm sorry. We were in the middle of asking you a question. So
I started playing pretty young and started traveling in middle school, playing basketball. So that was my first love. I played all through high school. Had a couple offers for college, but I tore my ACL my junior year, and mentally it just wasn't the same for me. Like, I was a point guard and I was real shifty and I could jump, but once I tore my ACL and then and I had to have 2 surgeries to repair it. And so got back my senior year and it just didn't feel the same. I had to wear this big clunky brace. Like, the surgery is not the same now. Like, now you tear your ACL, it's a little different, but I just couldn't not come back mentally after tearing my ACL because I didn't feel as effective as a point guard. So that ended my basketball career in my junior year, my senior year, really. But yeah.
And you had 2 surgeries on because of the ACL injury?
I did. I actually ripped it slightly my sophomore year, but I just had to go through physical therapy, so I didn't need surgery at that time. And true story, I wish my old coach was on here. Like, he tells the story the best. I'll never forget. We were playing Hazelwood West my junior year, and I had a knee brace on, and they were at the free throw line, and I'm standing on the free throw line, and I took my brace off, and I threw it over to the sideline. And as I was getting ready to throw it, my coach looked at me, and he was like, "Don't do that." And one of my teammates was like, "Don't do that." Being hard-headed, I threw it anyway. The very next play, so the opponent shot the free throw. One of my teammates got the rebound, and so we're in transition, and they advanced the ball to me. I'm going up for a layup, and I just felt something pop, and that was it. Like, I did not hear the end of that from my coach or from a couple of my teammates because I took that brace off.
Oh, wow. Did you take it off doing that free throw because it was uncomfortable? You've already
Because
smoked?
it was uncomfortable. And I, thought I'm fine. I don't need it. And lo and behold, the very next play, it was the end.
That's okay. Well, everything happens for a reason.
Yep.
Yeah.
I will say I hate the words for like you said it ripped. Oh, can you imagine like something ripping in your body? I mean, obviously we could all imagine because we're mothers, but I'm saying like something that's not supposed to rip. Like man, I could not. My knees hurt all the time. I couldn't imagine doing anything that bad to my knee.
And that was by far the worst pain I've ever felt in my life. And I've had 2 kids naturally. So there's that.
Hold on.
Wow.
Don't be saying that on Ladies Night, giving the guys a Smoooth just went through a knee problem last summer. Don't be, pat him on the back.
I'm not.
It's worse than labor.
But the surgeries are different now. It's a little different now. So, but yeah, it was not fun. No, not fun times. That's all I can say about that.
How long was your recovery when you had the 2 surgeries?
So the first surgery I had, it was like in January, and then I had the second one in March. So from January to the beginning of March, they didn't see the progress that they needed to see. Like my knees are already hyperextended, and they were trying to correct that as well in the process. And so going through physical therapy, and they realizing that it just wasn't getting better. So I had to have another surgery to repair what was still damaged from the previous surgery.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, that healing process still sounds longer than childbirth, but still, it's a lot. So,
and after the second surgery, I like literally had to go to physical therapy the next day. So it was intense.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, everything happens for a reason. So between starting to organize basketball teams for 8 or 9, playing all the way in high school, when you realize, oh, my career is over, did depression sink in, or you like, what am I going to do next? And how did you get prepared for college?
You know what? I don't know if it probably was depression, but manifested in a different way. So when I first started college, I actually wanted to be a sports journalist. So my initial major was communications. And so I was working with the different sports teams, with writing articles on the sports teams, and then realizing that I couldn't be a part of the game like I really wanted to. And so then I switched my major. So it could have been pivotal in that regard. And like you said, probably was supposed to happen in that regard, because had I not torn my ACL, I don't know if I would have pursued education like I did after I realized being in the sports realm at that time was too damaging for my psyche, not being able to actually play. So that's how it changed me, because I switched my major from communications to education, specifically sports journalists. Yeah.
And where did you actually do sports journalism in school, and where did you go? I'm looking at the rundown. I don't see that in there.
I did it. I went to Maryville University. I actually had a scholarship to Mizzou and University in Kentucky, and both of those at the time were so it was half and half. It was basketball and academics. Basketball, obviously didn't pursue that because of my knee, and then Mizzou and University of Kentucky both didn't honor my scholarship because I didn't go to college right away. I took a semester off because I had my first child early, and so I ended up going to Maryville. They did still honor my academic scholarship at Maryville, so I went to Maryville and then was a sports journalism major for 2 years, and like I said, participated on the sports side, like writing articles for the different sports teams and things of that nature. And some of the basketball players at the time were still trying to get me to play basketball. And, just realizing I couldn't because of the mental state that I was in, I switched my major to education.
And just because journalism, sports journalism, when I was in high school, that was a thing that always interests me. Didn't do anything with it, but whenever you were doing articles, did you have to do okay, got to do an article on the softball team this time, or different sports, and like, did you find like you were learning all the rules and whatnot, and just learning things about all different sports?
Yeah, absolutely. And it helped me. So after I started, got into education, switched my major, got into education, started substitute teaching. And then when I started substitute teaching, I was asked to assist with the basketball and volleyball teams. And so after I got my degree, my first degree, I realized, and you know what, I want to go back to school. I want to get in administration because I wanted to be an athletic director. And it was that, the experience that I had with being a journalism major and having to learn so many different rules and so many different aspects of so many different sports that I realized I could use that to be an athletic director as well. And so after I got my first degree in English and then teaching, I figured, let me get my degree in administration because I want to be an athletic director. So that's how I became an athletic director.
Okay, cool. So with that transition, going from mass communication, education, you got your degree, then you want to go back to go into athletic director. But at the time, I'm assuming, even now, there's no official degree in it, but it's more based off of experience. Am I correct?
An official degree in
athletic director.
No, it's not. But most school districts, you have to be a certified administrator in order to be an athletic director. Mm. So I had to get my principal certification and then apply to be an athletic director. Most school districts, you have to get it done that way. And there are some colleges that will allow you to major in like athletic director. Mm-hmm. I just made that word up. But most districts won't honor that if you don't have a degree or if you don't have your principal certification, they won't honor that.
And spin off but on the subject, to me is, so again, since you're definitely an educator, I'm not an educator, but I have a family full of educators, K through 12 specifically. So they will want you to have principal certification to do athletic directors and things of that nature. But on the collegiate level, you don't have to be certified. And I know more of the collegiate level is definitely more money involved. So I guess they definitely having a business background and even majoring in business could help you, flourish as an athletic director on that level. But I'm just wondering why, if you're dealing with students, but at the same time, if you're not trying to be an administrative as far as the academic side, why require that for athletic side?
At least for the state of Missouri, in order to evaluate people, you have to be a certified administrator. And so when I was an athletic director, I evaluated like PE, world language. And so I evaluated those teachers. And in order to do that, according to the state of Missouri, you have to have your principal certification.
Again, state of Missouri. And this from Desi, or is this from a politician in Jeff City?
So both.
Okay. Again, make it make sense, because I always say for some people when it comes to education, the people who are making these rules have no idea and they're far removed from it, but they're gonna make everybody else fall in line and they don't have to do it or don't even have the background. Okay. It makes no sense, but it makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, I got it. So with that transition though, going from going back to education side, getting on your master's, did you do that at Maryville as well, or you went to another college?
I ended up going to UMSL. So transparency, when I went to Maryville, I lived on campus. Like I stated earlier, I had my oldest son pretty early on. So when I went to Maryville, he actually stayed home with my mom. And mom guilt set in. And so I came back home to be a mother. Not that I was like totally neglecting him, but Monday through Saturday, I was on campus. And then Saturday and Sunday, I was here. I would come back home on Saturday and spend time with my son on Saturday and Sunday. And then Sunday evening, I'm back out. So at any rate, that took a toll on me mentally too. And so I came back, finished up at UMSL, my undergrad at UMSL, and then my first master's I got at UMSL, and then my second master's I got from Lindenwood.
Got you. Well, I asked this to another Lindenwood alum who happens to be St. Louis famous, especially broadcaster, St. Louis Cardinals, or former broadcaster Dan McLaughlin. So I asked you the same thing since you're Lindenwood alum. Did you ever think that your alma mater would be a Division I school?
You know what? I didn't.
Yeah, I asked the same thing to him, and he was like, "No one's ever asked him that." And he was like saying what you did. He didn't see it either. Like, yeah,
Yeah, I'm super excited about that though. You know, we gotta build up our St. Louis athletes and try to get them to stay home and pour back into what we have here. We have some amazing athletes in the state of Missouri. We just don't get to keep them that often because for whatever the reason, they just stay here. But amazing athletes, and I'm excited to see what Lindenwood does with being Division One.
got you. Yeah, I'm glad you said that as far as help build our athletes here to help them stay home. The sentiment I get, because my cousin's assistant football coach for CBC, and he was like, all right, we lost our NFL team, right? But these like on a collegiate level. Without Lindenwood, there is no college in the St. Louis area that has football. And I ain't thinking about it. He said that. I'm like, damn, you're right. Even SIUE, they're D1 now too, but they don't have a football team. And no SLU doesn't have one. You know, you're like, dang, we don't have any. So I was like, wow. So I'm glad, you know, shout out to Lindenwood now that they did that adjustment, but it's definitely needed where we would need another football team. So maybe people will grasp onto Lindenwood. I'm not sure, but you know, Mizzou is considered the state flagship school, so
right,
people can gravitate towards them. But that's 2 hours away. I guess ain't, you know, it's not local, not local, not local per se. So
I mean, that's what we root for, right? The hometown, Luther Burden, hometown hero. That's what we root for.
Yes, and I was actually reading an article from the Post-Dispatch today regarding Mizzou and specifically football with recruiting. Eli Drinkowitz has some leg up now because they mean Mizzou had a few players going to the NFL draft and get drafted, and that's going to help with recruiting. But as you said, keep more local people local. Previous coaching administrations, Mizzou wasn't tapping into it. I don't know why, but
right
here or there. So yeah, good observation on that. So you go from Maryville, we got UMSL, we got Lindenwood. Our famous viewer, Miss Dub, said she graduated from UMSL as well. But after you graduated from Lindenwood, where did this all come in with the different coaching? Like, how did you transition into coaching?
I actually started coaching back in 2007. I was a long-term sub at one of the high schools, and the athletic director at the time was my old volleyball coach. And she actually tapped into me and asked me if I would consider joining the basketball and volleyball staff to be an assistant coach. So I actually started that before I got my first master's. I started coaching. And then, like I said, once I started coaching and just tapping back into my experience with sports journalism, realized like I wanted to be an athletic director. And so that prompted me to go the next step and get my my principal certification so that I could pursue that dream of mine to be an athletic director. That was short-lived though, because once I became an athletic director, it is so time consuming. I like literally had to be at work most days by 6. I didn't get home most nights till about 9. At the time, my daughter was really young, and just missing that family time, I didn't think that it would be that it would be short-lived, but my time as an athletic director was. So I transitioned from that to an assistant principal.
What school were you as athletic director?
I was at McCool North as an athletic director.
Gotcha.
And I loved it. You know, I would go back. I think I could. I don't know. I'm stepping into the role as an assistant superintendent as of July 1st. But before that, I was thinking like, once I get to the point to where I could retire, I would probably go back to being an athletic director just because I love sports so much. I could go back, depending on where my kids are in their educational journeys. I could see myself going back to being an athletic director and retire from that as opposed to anything else.
I got you. I learned firsthand about those long days as an athletic director. My sister was at Vashon, and then she went to another school district, and it wasn't sun up to sundown, but damn near.
Yeah.
It was, and again, my niece, her daughter is in high school now too. But it's a lot of scheduling balancing because you got an athlete, you got the child, and you got to worry about your job with all the other student athletes in your school and all the different sports. Yeah, definitely a lot of time consuming. So I definitely think like I don't know, did you have an assistant when you're athletic director?
I had a secretary who was amazing, by the way. I didn't have an assistant AD though, and true story. When I was the athletic director, I was named the interim because some things happened. But I'm gonna share it anyway. Some things happened with the previous athletic director, which caused that person to be removed. And so the district called me and asked me if I would fill that role. And so I did. And once they posted the position again, they noticed that I didn't apply for it. So they were calling me like, we noticed you didn't apply. And I was like, well, I don't think this is for me because my kids are young, the hours are too long. And they were like, well, what can we do to keep you? And I told them I needed an assistant athletic director. Like I have to have one, and that would help me tremendously. And so they were getting ready to give me one, but then COVID happened. And so that took precedence with everything else. So over everything else. So I didn't get one, but having an assistant would definitely serve as a great benefit because it's just a lot for one person to manage, especially if you have, all the sports that students would like to have access to. It's a lot for one person.
It is. I'm an advocate for you and for my sister. I'm like, yeah, I need an assistant. Like we know on the collegiate level they have them, or they may break it up with one person is in specific this, other one specifically that. But yeah, it's a lot. So when you said secretary, I'm like, that only does so much. That's just like administration a little bit, but all the calls, visits, then going to the games and year round, and you can only be in so many places at one time, unless you had like 3 stunt doubles. So like you pull it off.
Some districts they do have an assistant athletic director, but then some don't, and we know why they don't. But I mean, they just get, every district can't afford an athletic director and an assistant athletic director. It's just not. It's not in the budget to do so.
I get it. Yeah. I say because I'm like, I know they say in the budget, like they're not in the budget to pay teachers more like they should, but they sometimes, make you feel like, well, we did them a little increase. I'm like, I think only in this country, maybe it's like that. It's the parallel of if you get an education, at least K through 12. It's like, how are you supposed to live off of this if I'm not doing this all the time? I mean, if I'm doing this mostly the whole school year. And then the people who got the summers off. Yeah, but are you doing instruction every day, different stuff and state requirements? And I just always say I commend all educators. That is definitely not my ministry, but I'm into it. I keep up what's going on in the politics because, again, everybody in here, we pay taxes. So if y'all say tax dollars is for education, let's see if this is return on my investment. Okay, I'm investing in the education system. Where's my return on this?
Yeah, that's valid.
Don't have it, I know sometimes people petty, like, hey, everybody pay taxes. Damn right. So I'm gonna see where I'm getting from it. Don't keep raising taxes. Don't keep saying we got increased sales tax if I'm not seeing what y'all doing with it.
That's valid. And I wish more people like you would show up and legit ask those questions, because then we would have to speak to what's actually happening with taxpayer dollars and how we're being responsible with taxpayer dollars on the educational side of it. You made me think about open enrollment. I don't know if you all have heard about that, but to me, what it is very synonymous with is the desegregation program. So right now, open enrollment is at the Senate level. It passed the House level. It's at the Senate level. And so essentially what it's going to do, or what it has the potential to do, is allow families to send their students to other districts without living in that district. And so obviously where the student go under this bill, local money won't, but federal funds will go with that student. And so again, it's that, like, how are my tax dollars being used? And I don't think enough people know about those things. Enough people don't know what questions to ask in terms of how is my tax money being used.
Ooh, Tiffany, we gotta have another show for another time because we can go. Oh, I can go in a rabbit hole with it. It's another bill that just got passed with the state is now not going to go for attendance with the enrollment. What is it? It's not based on.
It's not attendance. It's enrollment.
Oh, that's it. See?
Yeah.
I heard y'all go. This was just put in the press within the last week. The few minutes I have to myself, which ain't that much. I'm trying to catch up.
Well, we have to be aware of it, administrators, because Misha doesn't want open enrollment to pass because obviously there's the possibility to create super teams.
Oh, I know it's coming. I told my sister never talking about this. I said, girl, because don't think of just the big cities. Those small towns too, baby. Okay. Don't whoop. Again, sorry, off the subject because I know that I don't know how to put the politics with the sports, but this is one of the times they're coming together.
They do come together, and there's really no way to. Although the first time they did the bill, they changed a little bit of the ramifications on it. So this time, only 3% of the population is quote unquote eligible to transfer. So that's one of the difference between the last time they proposed this bill and this time. So, you may not lose as many students or as many athletes, but the possibility to create super teams is still there. So they do go hand in hand right now, but
I'm trying to do that. I know Joe Bob, sorry, I'm not trying to get you lost, but this is stuff recent, and I'm reading. I'm like, I don't think.
No, you're good. You're good. This is stuff that I'm not there on yet because my child's not in school yet. But I feel like there's all these bills passing all the time, and I don't understand a damn thing about it.
No, I get it, especially if you don't. Again, be involved in it. Like I said, I'm not in education. I'm not in the classroom. I just happen to read these articles, or if I ask my mom, because she was teaching. But that's like these are policies now for when our children that are as young as they are, when they get to end of elementary, middle school, we'll see how they got there. So when we read how Hancock all of a sudden the super team, and when you were there, Jumbo, you was like, they really had. A basketball team now. Why they got all these people that how did they get here? Like everybody doesn't live in this small area to be going to Hancock. How do they have a super team? Well, it started back then and it slowly grew and grew and grew. Like she said, 3%. We're gonna blink, it's gonna be 10%. We're gonna blink. We like, what? How these kids get here? But anyway. So we have another panelist on our lady show that she's ready to come on. You may be familiar with her because she is on Midday. I always mess up the show name. Midday. Damn. Well, Michelle A, come on down. Tell me how to correct myself. I always jack it up.
I'm gonna make you listen tomorrow. And first off, my voice is gone too. I forgot to tell Fred.
I know, Michelle A, where's your voice?
So first off, hi, hey Tiffany. Me in sports and yelling in track practice. What was it track? Mickey's decided to play every sport he possibly can, and me yelling, "Run, Mickey, run!" Clearly, and doing my normal thing during the day. Look, I'm trying. It's just we got to deal with it. I got things to do. So they're gonna get this voice.
I take it. We're taking what we can get. We'll take what we can get.
Hey, Ms. Alice. Hey, Tiffany, I missed it. Y'all were talking about the 3%. I'm sorry, I had some other things I collided with this evening.
Trust me, I know.
I missed some good stuff.
Correct me. What's the show name? Because I listen to you when I'm on my lunch breaks. I'll go in the car. I'm hearing you. And I'm like, why do I always mess up the show name?
Your work day with Michelle A. I do middays for
you. I said middays. Work day. Which okay.
So yeah, you're grounded. You gotta listen to me all day tomorrow. I'm gonna talk about you too.
Please do, please. The more the merrier. I'm in office, and I got a dentist appointment on my lunch break. So yeah, talk about me, and I'm gonna have to just catch the archive show.
Okay, all right. Oh, good. All right.
Do it on Friday.
Here we go. Fridays. We'll get you right and during that lunch hour mix, and we got a commercial pre-block that will get you in the mood to continue on your work day because nobody does anything at work on Fridays, right?
I try not to unless I have a meeting.
Look, hold on, Tiffany's like, I stay busy.
That's when I do all of my work.
On Fridays, it's probably the easiest, huh?
I try to avoid meeting. I have a meeting this Friday, and I'll be like that's the day when I'm trying to finally decompress. Like, it'll be a long week, different stuff. It's like, let my load be a little light on a Friday, please, if it can help it. I mean, I work, of course, all the time, but I just need a little lighter on Fridays. That's all.
A light load in the world of education does not exist.
Unless the kids aren't out in the building, or they on break or something, or you have a professional development day.
Again, I repeat, a light load.
Because when I talk to some of my teacher friends like Tiffany, my other friend Kim, she's in education and she's in school. She's like, we stay working. Even when the kids aren't here and we're off, we stay working. I'm like, what about that 3-month break in the summer?
What?
Sometimes.
No, ma'am. And I'm a 12-month employee. 3-month break in the summer? Mm-mm.
Yeah, you don't get a break because you're administration. So, okay. Yeah. My husband teaches 4th grade. Bless his heart. Woo, child. I told you that's ministry, not for everybody. Definitely ain't for me. But I'm here to do what I'm supposed to do at home. I do my job at home, y'all. So read to my kids. I do that. Work on work. Yeah, we got that. But to do that hours after hours, and again, you're doing instructions now. You be assistant superintendent. That's a whole nother level.
Yeah.
Look, I tried to be a substitute. Back, maybe I don't even want to age myself, but it was back. When Kirby was here. I was a substitute over at Kirby for a day. I'm like, whose kids are these? I'm probably talking to half of them right now on the radio during the day. Like, y'all.
Right. You probably are. Everybody be like, who are their parents? I'm like, listen, everybody can't just say who are the parents of their random people. We got to know who these people's parents are. We got to. Because I'm like, it's just not that many random parents. We know people enough in St. Louis. Why don't people accountable of our friends to get their kids together? Like, goodness. I'm sorry.
Tiffany, I didn't get to congratulate you. I don't know if you talked about your new position. Assistant superintendent. Yeah, there we go. Did we already talk about this? I'm sorry. See, I'm coming in. Boom.
No. Come on in with it. Let's go. Come on.
Okay, so yes, congratulations, Assistant Superintendent of Curriculum and Instructions for 2024-2025. Big things right there. Congratulations.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. I appreciate that. Super excited.
What does that mean? We want to understand what that means. Hold on, pause. First off, did we talk about your journey yet? Into education.
A little bit, yeah. I've talked about how I got to education anyway, you know, and then how I transitioned to an athletic director, an assistant principal, district administrator, and a coordinator, and then I'll be transitioning to an assistant superintendent. So right now I support 6 through 12, the grades 6 through 12, and in the areas of English language arts, social studies, and world language. And so next year, transitioning into the new role, I will support all of instruction K through 12. And I'm super excited. Like, there's just some things that I believe wholeheartedly that can impact instruction. And I get to do it on a grander scale next year. So I'm elated. I cannot wait.
I'm happy for you.
Yeah, congratulations. What do you think like your first order of business is going to be? What's that first thing that you want to take on or do in that role?
So I have a team that I'll support as well. And so, you know, getting to know my team and having them to get to know me. I think that's my first order of business, to make sure that they understand who I am and I get to know who they are. And then just to solidify our vision as a team, right? Like, we can't go anywhere if we don't have a shared vision. And so just ensuring that we do have a shared vision of what that's supposed to look like. Yeah. And then get down to, you know, some things that they're already doing that's working, and then talk about some things that aren't working as well and how we can make those things better.
Okay. Did you see yourself in the Riverview Garden School District? I think you was in, if I'm not mistaken, maybe Ferguson Florissant not too long ago. You've kind of transitioned around. Did you see yourself here in this role?
So, you know, I felt like, so this is only my 14th year in education, and thinking about when I can retire. So in education, we have what's called a rule of 80. I can retire at the rule of 80 in 14 more years. And I just did not see myself in this role for the next 14 years, right? So in thinking about the trajectory of education, like, what's next for me was legit an assistant superintendent. I didn't think it was going to happen this soon. I'm thankful that it is. But I didn't see myself really leaving Ferguson. I'm a product of the Ferguson Sports and School District, and so it's always bittersweet to be able to pour back into an institution that pours so much into you. And so for me, that's what working in Ferguson Sports has been. It has allowed me again to pour back into the school district that helped shape and mold who I am. But the opportunity just wasn't available in Ferg, Florida. And so by it being available in Riverview, and they're willing to take the chance and see what I have to offer, and I'm gonna step out and get it done.
Where do you think you'll impact at the most, or who will have the most impact at school with you there?
Look, I was K-12. I'm gonna speak prophetically. K-12. Like my impact is gonna be great. K-12. Like now in Ferg, Florida is 6-12, and I've had some great impact there. And so the next feed is K-12. So just the whole gamut.
Okay. And I don't know the graduation rate. I know that there's been conversation of people saying some of the public schools are having lower graduation rates. How do you think you can help impact that to help bring it up more and to help get our kids to the next level?
So they have already, and I can't call her name right now, but a phenomenal person that assists with their graduation rate. And so what I do know of the school districts, they are making strides in the right direction in terms of those things. But yeah.
And I don't want to take up all the questions because I know Joe's over here and Bunny over here. They had all the fun earlier. So I'm like, let me ask all the questions. I don't want to ask about Joe's like,
No, go for it. I had to leave because I'm the only one home right now, but
okay.
I don't know if you guys see it outside. It is terrifying looking. It looks like the world's going to end. And so I had to go, I had to like lock up some stuff before everything flew away, but it looks terrifying outside.
It doesn't show that it's still a little light out here, sunset, but it doesn't show any darkness. Maybe we're in the past. Let me check. And for the record, Miss Tiffany, you talking about you only been in education for 14 years? Ma'am, don't say only been 14 years.
No, when I think about some people that I work with that have been in education for 20 plus years, and thinking about like, how long I can go in education. That's why I say I've only been in education for 14 years. And I've been a teacher. I've been an instructional coach. I've been an assistant principal. I've been a district administrator, and now an assistant superintendent. And so 14 years to all of those things, it's not, and I don't know if we can do this, now, but it's not by my own stretch. It's by the grace of God that I've been able to do what I have done in this short 14 years.
Again, just don't say only. But I know you're perspective because colleagues have more years. Man, 1 year and you survive is great because people leave this education sector all the time. But I have a question, since you are in this high profile position for the school district as well as the state of what's going on in St. Louis County District, specifically Rockwood last year. Now you heard about Winsfield. Those superintendents abruptly leaving because of the environment with education and I guess the parent groups or parents. I just read further to Winsfield. I'm like, how did she just also retire her buyout? My God, she sounds like a basketball football coach. $1 million.
Yeah. Talk about a bag, right?
She's not doing $1 million to leave. You ain't got to worry about me saying, no, I need to hold on. I don't have to sue anybody. Give me my $1 million compensation. I'm out. But anyway, the point though that we've heard of what's going on where superintendents are abruptly leaving, the state of education to where the parents, they have a say and they should have a say, but to where people are feeling like I'm tired of this or it's not worth it because of a parent. Like, do you see this as a trend that's going to keep getting worse, or these are just one-off situations between the Rockwood and the Winsfield superintendents leaving?
You know what? I choose to believe that if we empower our parents, they will empower us in the world of education. And so what I mean by that is sometimes we talk over parents in the world of education, and we can't do that because ultimately parents know their kids better than we do. And so if we truly partner with parents, we wouldn't get those things that we're getting, in my opinion, we wouldn't get those things that we're getting in Winsfield, in Rockwood, because instead of fighting against, we will be working with parents. I think that's a huge missing piece in education. Not saying that we don't try to do it, but we just haven't been as successful as I think that we can be with partnering with parents in terms of education.
Do you think there needs to be other ways to build and bridge that gap? Because a lot of times you hear, oh, it's the parents. They're not, they let their kids do whatever. The kids talk to the teachers. However, do you think there needs to be more ways in any school district that works to bridge gaps to get the parents more involved? Because a lot of times you see the parents, they just send them to school and they deal with them when they get home.
Yeah, absolutely. And I don't know what that bridge can be, but I just know, so my kids go to school in the district where I work because I work in the district, right? And I just know there are some things that I am afforded by being a district employee that other parents don't have access to. But my question is, why not? Like, they should have access to some of those same things that I'm privy to, but I'm only privy to it again because I work for the district. And I mean, we try to invite parents to things, and sometimes it's, not met with much success. But again, I think it's because there's that barrier sometimes with the educational lingo that parents may not understand. And then just a certain dynamics of educational, like schools not really understanding how to connect with parents.
Yeah.
It doesn't always have to be at a school, at PTSO. It's like, well, we have bowling alleys in our community. We have, Chick-fil-A or anything in our community where we can invite parents out to and just show them that we're human too, right? Like, we can take our educational hats off sometimes and just be human with our families.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea, because you have parents of all different ages, and a lot of times I'm not judging, and maybe I don't know, but I really say it might be the younger parents that they're not used to this. So maybe trying to find ways to engage them. And I'm thinking, funner things, like you say, the bowling alley. So, just finding ways to just engage them. And, sometimes coming to the classroom or the gym cafeteria, it's just not it. So,
right. We got to find ways to get it done. That's for sure.
So, well, congratulations on your role. I know you got some big things you got to do now and next year. That's going to be amazing. But I don't know, do we get to talk sports with you yet? Because I know, that's your other side.
Now listen, if I could retire today, I would try to find the money to find me a gym, and that's my happy place.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
How many shots we got to get up? How many shots?
It's funny because I see Tiffany
that I'm gonna have my son.
Is it me or is it her? Tiffany?
I'm here.
You froze. I'm sorry. You said something with your son and you froze. What you said?
Oh, it would be how many shots I would have my son get up. Yeah, it would be for him. Listen, I want in another life, I think I was a tournament director. Because that's my jam. I would definitely want to do that too.
Oh, it's funny.
It's on my list of things to do.
Huh? She's like, Mr. Referee, I know the rules.
Come on, somebody.
Hey, there's a referee shortage like everything else. So if anybody want to do that as a part-time job or retire, I asked my dad, he's retired. I'm like, you should ref. He knows basketball, baseball. Go do that. They're desperate, but he won't do it.
I looked at it. I'll take on anything, but I was out there like, nah, I don't think that's one of those things that I would ever want to do, because it gets like I have a problem with yelling at refs. I have to compose myself sometimes. Like, I think I know everything. Like, that's a travel. Like, maybe not.
Are you that type of parents? Are you that type of parents, Michelle? Like, you be like, wait a minute now.
Yeah, my Tiffany's seen me. Our sons have played on basketball on teams
and football.
I think I've grown to understand the sport a little bit better, so I'm better. So,
but here's the thing, like, because I'm that type of parent, Bunny, but I know what I'm talking about. But it's not until I have to say, like, no, I coach basketball. I was an athletic director until referees realized, oh, she does know what she's talking about. And I don't mean any harm, but prime example, we were in a tournament and we were up by 20 and it was 2 minutes. I'm like, no, the game is supposed to stop. And the ref looked at me like I was crazy. I was like, no, sir, the rules are right here. The game is supposed to stop. He was like, oh, okay. Like, but I feel like if a male had said that, he would have been like,
He wouldn't have questioned it.
You know, there's some truth to what I'm saying. He wouldn't have questioned it. But because I'm a female, I don't know what I'm talking about.
So
but I actually do know what I'm talking about.
Look, that's a good segue to what we were talking about earlier, Joe Bob, with WNBA players, because the WNBA has a lot of eyes on it now. The same league we've had been around for over 20 years, and now there's a lot of eyes on it. And the interest of women basketball. And I forgot where I read this, you all, recently, that the number one viewers of women basketball are men. Now, again, is it what stake do they have in it? I don't know. It could be entertainment, it could be their daughter, mom, wife, I don't know. But the point is that we have a much more people talking about WNBA players, the draft. It's a great time. I want this momentum to keep going, but anybody can chime in. What are y'all thoughts on the game? Do you see it evolving even longer, or is it only because of Caitlin Clark where you have more hype and you think it's going to die down?
Personally, I watch more women's basketball than I have ever this year. And I think it is a lot of hype around some of the college athletes right now. Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, just the dynamic of them just, having their, you got rap beef, right? And rap beef sparks interest. Well, you had your little basketball beef. I don't really think there's basketball. They don't dislike each other. It's just smack talk. Some people got too invested in it, and I think it helps spark some more interest. I just think there's a lot of interest in it, and they play. To me, they're playing harder. They're working for something. They're all working for something. Don't get me wrong. I'm not good, because I know some guys can be like, "What you mean?" I just think that they were playing really hard with some. It just looked like there was more energy out there. There was just more dynamic out there. Just watching. I enjoyed that the the women's double NCAA championship more than I did the men's.
Yeah,
it was not as exciting to me. Just the energy around it from just last year up to this year. I think it just set the tone. I think you just have to have some of that good rivalry and some of that good smack talk that some people took a little too much and got too much invested in. But I think that's why it's enhanced. And I think it's just time. I think we evolve as people when we watch certain things. So I just think it's evolved, and it's just going to be their time.
Yep, I agree with you, Michelle, on that one. It's just, I think this is just my personal opinion. I think women play harder because I feel like now in today's times, women feel like they have more to prove. And so as a result, they do go out there and compete higher, compete at a different level. For that reason, it's like we deserve that same respect. We deserve to be at that platform. We deserve to make the same amount of money. And so they feel like women, we feel like we have to work twice as hard. We shouldn't have to, but we feel like we have to. And so as a result, we see that manifest in how some of these players are playing.
Yeah. And I think it was Miss Alice. I know it wasn't just Caitlin Clark. There was a lot of other players out there. So I don't want to take away from any of the other talented women athletes, because they really played hard. And I didn't know a woman could be that tall. Who is tall, the blonde that came out looking like she should be a runway model? Y'all didn't watch the WNBA draft?
Yeah,
I saw the highlights, but as far as it, you talking about the one that's a teammate. Wait, what school?
6'11" or something.
Was it? Oh, wait, you ain't talking about Cardoza from South Carolina.
You talking about Cardoza? Camila Cardoza?
She's blonde. You said blonde.
You said blonde.
Very tall. Ms. Williams, you probably know. Where's she at?
We need to have a ladies' night with Miss Dubs on. I think.
No.
Why is that not happening?
Yeah.
Was it Cameron Brink?
Yeah. Okay. He said it. Cameron Brink.
It was Cameron Brink. I just think that they just give a different energy. I can't even tell you who went number one in the men's. I can't tell you right now. I don't know. Oh,
NBA last year?
Oh, they haven't done this one this year, have they?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I know who went last year. I think that was Wembley.
Yeah, from the San Antonio Spurs. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, but I am actually going to watch this year. I'm kind of excited to see some of these ladies, because sometimes when you start watching something at a end of, like, that's the end of their. That was end of a transition for them, and now to see how they transition into something new and on another level. I just want to see how that works for them. So it's going to be exciting. I know they don't get, like Tiffany was saying, they don't get the money that they should. But again, that's because we don't watch. Again, part of that is us as people that support the game. We have to watch. We got to go to the events. We've got to spend money on jerseys and make that viewership ratings go up so they can get the advertising dollars. So it's all a trade-off. So.
Oh, okay. And what about Candace Parker, that she's retiring? She drew a lot of eyes as well for WNBA players and people watching, because she was a baller. Like, oh my gosh, she was so dope. As far as her retiring, do you see her? I guess this is the handoff from her era, because she got drafted in 2008. Here it is, 2024. She's calling it a career, and she's handing it off now to the next generation. Like, what? If y'all, I don't know if you all followed her, but do you know what she did as a lasting impression on the WNBA? Did y'all watch, or do y'all know like what she contributed to the game?
I'm trying to think. I know, but I can't. Are you going to tell us?
Are you good at telling?
I was looking at my thing. Unless Miss Williams gonna chime in, I was using my phone to look at something. So yeah, drafted in 2008, sparked most of her career. Then she went to Chicago Sky, got injured with the last year with the Vegas Aces, but she was dominant in college at Tennessee, came to the league. I don't have the exact stats in front, but definitely.
She's a two-time MVP, right? WNBA MVP and Olympic gold medalist, wasn't she?
Yes, on the Olympic team. She was. What other stats do I have for her? Definitely. So they have her retiring under the Las Vegas Aces. I know she went to the Sky. I mean, I guess she went back to the Aces. But anyway, yeah, she has, her only ring was with the Las Vegas Aces. So apparently, when she was with the Sparks, because the Sparks had championships, but she wasn't on those teams. So she got a ring with the Aces last year. Definitely tall woman, and she's dunked in the game before. So I'm definitely like household name.
Her name is her. That's the thing. She's a household name. You know, I know of her name. Again, I've just started watching, starting to get acclimated with this. But my thing, I'm sad to see her go because she is such a household name, and all these other names are starting to put more light on the WNBA. And now she's exiting stage left, which is fine. You know, it's her. If it's her time, it's her time. But it'd be nice to see her kind of, you know, stick around and see how she does with some of the newer athletes that come in.
But she's also impactful on the broadcast side because she works with TNT as an analyst as well. She worked alongside D Wade, Charles Barkley, and stuff. She definitely knows the game in and out. I can see her coaching as well. Now, of course, don't know if she's gonna pursue that right now or just stick with the broadcasting side. Of course, she also has endorsements. Just she did with Adidas, right? Definitely, she, you know, a lot of the players I noticed on WNBA players are tall women. All of them to me could be models, like the typical model body size. They're just muscular, but they're tall, slim, beautiful. I love to see them when they wear lipstick. So it's like I can have fun, I can be athletic, I can sweat, but I can still have my makeup on. I love seeing it.
You know it too, with all these, you know, like with Candace putting a lot of emphasis on basketball. Now this new age of athletes are coming in. I think this puts a lot of emphasis on back to like, you know, not, you know, I'm a boy mom, obviously, but the girls in AAU sports right now, the young athletes, I've never seen the young people's game as what I've saw it. You know, they're playing just as tough as some of these young boys. Like, you know, mine's at 7, Tiffany's getting ready to go into high school. Some of these girls could give these little boys, well, not little, these young men, let's say young men, because my son's going to be mad. These young men are run for their money. They are really looking at some of these young ladies in sports in college and now in the WNBA, like, I want to be like that. That's how I want to be. They're not looking at the Michael Jordans, and I mean, they still are, but that's not who they're striving to be, because that's all back when I grew up, when I wanted to be a basketball player in middle school. I want to be like Jordan. Now they can be like Candace Parker. Now they can be like Angel Reese. Now they can be like
Juju Watkins. Come through, Juju.
Just, you know, so I think And then when you watch them and you see them, they're going out and getting the training. Smoooth, Coach Willis, Shoot 360. The women were out there winning the competition. When we were at the Little Runs, Nana won the.
The knockout.
The knockout game. I mean, she was knocking them threes down like it was nothing. So she's not even in middle school yet. I don't think. Is she in middle school?
She's in middle school. Yeah.
Okay. So, but the thing of it is like girls, we just weren't doing those type of things back in the day. We didn't. We a little bit here and there, but I think the sport has evolved, and I think the college and the WNBA women are truly helping. The light that's being put on them. They're making a way to put light on them when no one really was before, because they're looking at where's the ratings, where's this? Well, hey, you know what? They're going to make their own light and they're going to bring the ratings, I think. So, and it's going to help bring these, it's going to evolve. I think it's just going to continue to evolve.
Love to hear it. Love to see it. Let's see. So last thing from WNBA to the NBA, are you any of y'all watching the playoffs, NBA playoffs?
Yes, ma'am. Go Boston.
Oh, I caught a little bit of that Lakers game when they lost that, and I was like, "Where's the defense?" But I only watched like the last 2 minutes, so I don't know.
The Lakers game was on. Man, them games were watching me by the fourth quarter. They start so late. Like goodness, they go into like 11 at night. Man, I'm good in sleep at least halfway. Like the game was watching me. I'm sorry. So shout out to. I guess the Nuggets were pulling it off in 5 instead of 4, but the playoff, like I stated earlier, it's been good, entertaining. You're seeing the next core group of superstars that are coming and emerging from these playoffs because the veterans are all going on vacation. Like I said, LeBron, Steph, Clay,
they're going to Cancun.
Booker, all of them gone on vacation right now.
They said they was like, hey, Bron's headed to Cancun. They ain't going to Cancun right now.
Hey, they got money. They should take a little further. Go deeper. Like go to somewhere like in Grenada or go to somewhere in the Caribbean far. It takes like 8 hours on the plane. Get a whole island to yourself. Put your worries out of the camera. You know, Cancun with too many people, they probably filming them. So
I don't know. I want to say Boston get it, but it's just not. I don't know. There's not a lot of. I'm not excited about it this year. I'm waiting. I'm wanting to go to a gym and watch some middle schoolers and some high schoolers play. That's. I don't know if y'all have seen some middle school, high school, college kids play. It's an amazing thing to watch right now.
But some of the video footage the platform Sportstalk show had with their interviews at those couple of those tournaments, I saw some snippets of some up and coming players. So I hope they game goes even further, put St. Louis on the map, get drafted, be the next Jason Tatum or something. Like I'm ready to see that. So,
right.
Yeah, I'm with it. I think the series that I'm most excited about, because obviously Boston is my team and has been my team for years. But the Knicks and the 76ers, y'all, that game last night was like, what? I think Philadelphia gonna end up pulling it off. Like I think they're gonna end up winning the series.
Against your
I don't see it.
I don't know. It's just
go ahead.
Maxey is just a different breed. Like he is just like his grit, his relentlessness. Like the kid is, he's the next face to me. He is him and Anthony Edwards. Like they are. They something to talk about.
Edwards been the next face, or like I said earlier with the Thunder, is shy. He as well. Is that. Maxey, maybe it just depends. I mean, hey, it's enough room for all three, right? We ain't just have
That's
one.
True.
Do something different. Mm-hmm. What am I gonna say? The playoffs, though, I think is interesting. So we're gonna definitely see. Well, can anybody dethrone the Nuggets? Probably not. But blame. I hear what you're saying, Tiffany, and that's why I keep going against what you're saying.
I'm just being real optimistic right now, though. Like I'm
being realistic. Fan. Again, I hear what you're saying, and I'm pro Justin Tatum. You know, I'm always for the hometown people. It's just that once they lost against the Warriors 2 years ago, and I didn't see them get back with that same intensity, and the role players haven't been there for them. They need another piece, and I can see in the off season if they don't get to the conference finals, not the championship games, just the conference finals, that they're going to disband this team again because it's not working. That clock is ticking. Tatum got years on it, but at the same time, it's easier when they're younger. Hence why people love those draft picks. And usually, if you get a good draft pick and a GM does his job, get the supporting players, within 4 years, that team should be in a conference finals or a championship team. Within 4 years of that rookie, and they have right draft play. I mean, that's why they want them young, because they can do it. Maybe even do a repeat. But I just see Tatum had their time one time, or even two, and they haven't gotten there. It's like, it's just not working. It ain't the coaching to me, but you're the coach, Tiffany, not me. But from what I see, it's not. It's just, I don't know what's not clicking. I mean, think about how many times with Boston, Kyrie came in, Kyrie came out. We brought back in what's his name? I see his face. Who's your big man? For Celtics. Horford. I don't get it. Right, a good veteran, right? President. Boom. Still didn't do it. When they got rid of Smart, you know that defense, you need the lockdown defense. And after they get rid of Smart, I said, okay, let's see what they do. Look at these names out there. These impactful, needed players, and they don't work. Get rid of them, and Celtics still haven't gotten there. So
they might get, if they don't make it this year, they might get rid of one more piece. I'm not gonna name them because it's probably an unpopular opinion. It's not Jason Tatum, though. I'm saying that it's not him, but one of the other players who might, I feel like, disappoint Shaven last year, but I'm not gonna speak on it.
Hey, Miss Heather.
Heather said, Tiff. Heather Coleman. You know her?
I do.
So, hey,
what's up, Heather? Shout out to you for tuning in.
A news reporter has asked Michael Jordan if he thought the 90s Bulls could beat LeBron's Lakers. So Michael Jordan said yes. And when they asked him by how much, he said 2 or 3 points. And they said, why so close? He said, because most of us are almost 60 right now. So I don't know if he meant we could play him right now and beat him. But I don't know.
That's funny.
That funny, yes.
That is hilarious.
Okay. So we'll see. So we know what Tiffany's going with the NBA champion, but Michelle, I pick one. Who you think gonna win it all?
I'm gonna go to Celtics too, just because it's St. Louis Tatum. I really don't. Outside of that, I would have probably went with the Celtics or the Lakers, just because I don't know. I don't really have a team right now.
Buddy, you already know. You already know.
Everybody over here, Team Tatum, huh?
Well, yeah. Have you seen him?
Next level. I'm just saying.
Have you seen that smile? Have you seen?
We all have our reasons, right? So,
and that is, I'm not even lying. I don't know much about basketball. My sole reason is 1, he's from the Lou, and 2, he's fine as hell, and that's all I gotta say.
Facts and facts.
Exactly. And I think I said like 2 weeks ago, if they win it all, I'll buy myself a Tatum jersey. I want one of the black ones with the green trim. That's sick. I like that. I might just do it regardless.
Right.
And with that jersey, Tiffany got the matching Nikes to match with the black and green. I know she got them. The leprechaun edition, she got them.
Several pair that you could rock with that.
Yep.
Oh, you said it too. Yeah.
You don't have to be a regular on the show to know that I love me some Jason Tatum.
Lord help her.
That's all it is. All right.
I love the fanatic side of this and not the realistic side of things. But okay, I'm gonna just go with the repeat championship happening. The Nuggets are gonna win it all. After this year, not so much, but yeah. But anyway,
you're gonna be surprised, Bunny. You're gonna be surprised.
Listen, I would love for Tatum to pull it off, but again, a little basketball that I know and a little bit I just kind of see. Yeah.
He's playing with a chip on his shoulder, and he's got a, Derek White is playing. He's playing well this year.
Make that chip chocolate chip. Make it sweet all the way through.
Like he's gonna make it the championship.
Oh, y'all done turn this all into okay. So do you think LeBron's gonna retire? Or he's gonna stick around and wait for Bronny? Because I heard that the Lakers maybe think it's rumor. Obviously, ain't nobody call me and be like, Michelle. That the Lakers are thinking about drafting Bronny to keep LeBron.
Yeah, I don't think he'll retire until Bronny enters.
Do you think he'll go to the Lakers? Do you think the Lakers will make that move?
Absolutely. They want to keep LeBron.
Because that could be like a bargaining chip to get LeBron to come to wherever Bronny goes. Maybe. I don't know. It's like, is that fair though? I want to say I thought about this in the car, like, dang, that's an easy way for him to get into the league because they're like, you know what, I'm gonna keep LeBron, so I'm gonna draft your son. But it's it's a plus. Like if my son had that opportunity, I'd be like, why? If you're like, people would say, oh, that's not fair. But if it was their own son, they'd be like, go ahead and do that. You know what I'm saying? So,
how many more years does LeBron have on his contract?
This is an opt-out year, if I'm not mistaken. Correct me if I'm wrong, producer. But don't forget, LeBron has a second son that's trying to get into college or get his name out there too that can ball. So he's always, want to be a father first. So I don't see Bronny, if he wants to play with him, yes, but the other son, though, if he leaves, he's eventually going to want to be closer to that son as well. Yeah, he can be opt-out this year to be a free agent.
Wasn't there a New York team that was rumored to be like, everyone knew it wasn't going to happen, that he was going to be traded to this year?
LeBron?
Yeah, everyone knew it wasn't going to happen, but it was all over like ESPN Sports Center, like, oh, what if they trade him? Because Lakers weren't too hot at the time. And it was a New York team. Like, would he want to go opt out and be, in New York? And the Knicks. What if that happened?
LeBron not gonna go to New York.
No, if he goes anywhere, I think it'll be back to Cleveland. But that's only if Cleveland is looking at Bronny too. Like that would be a full circle moment for LeBron to go back to Cleveland.
Golden State.
One of those three they getting rid of Clay. Clay not resigning after this year. I mean, not resigning. They're not gonna sign Clay after the season, so it's gonna be room.
Hold on. I think Smoooth is just having a fantasy in his head that him and his wife can get along during basketball season. If that happens. I think that's what's happening right now.
Yeah, I can't see him in Golden State. I cannot. I can't see that one.
I mean, but if you get a vintage Steph, vintage LeBron, vintage Draymond, probably not gonna be there though. Draymond and LeBron can't be on the same team.
Absolutely not.
About a damn tsunami, tornado, hurricane, all in one. No, and no. That ain't right. So for that, if Bron would join the Warriors, Clay ain't gonna be there, and definitely not Draymond. So with that, possibly again, it's vintage, y'all. It's not like that 10 years ago.
Who would watch that though? Like, I don't even think I would watch Golden State if they were playing together. I'm a Steph fan, I'm a LeBron fan, but I'm not a fan of them on the same team.
Like you would have watched them compete against each other.
Against each other, or on their respective teams. I just don't know how I would feel about that.
I can see it though, because we've seen them in their prime already. We've seen what they did against each other. Now let's see y'all join up with each other for a year or two, and that's it. Then they're gonna retire anyway. Again, we're not saying they're falling off because they both blah blah blah. They both still score. They both have an impact with the flow of the offense. Steph's a point. LeBron is kind of a point forward, center, whatever it's position you want to put him in. So offense is still gonna go through them. But if they're on the same team, it could work. It's just you're just gonna see it a little different. And again, you got two people on the Warriors that won't be on that team, so it's going to be a different dynamic too than what we saw.
They say LeBron wants to play with Steph, but and maybe
he also wants to play with Bronny.
Steph. That's true. Tim's like, don't forget about Bronny. Look, so. My thing is like, I guess, as they get older and you said falling off, but they didn't really fall off. Maybe it's their age. I don't, you slow down a little bit. Maybe you're just not in your prime. You're coming out with that dynamite like you did when you was younger. So maybe they do need to get together and play, and people tend to call it a super team, but maybe they just need to play together in order to give that same dynamic they used to when they were younger.
But when people say super team, so they said that when KD was with the Warriors, right? KD got his ring. KD left the Warriors. Warriors still got rings without KD. So that the Warriors are not to me a super team. If you had LeBron, nah, I don't see them as a super team. You need three at least superstars to be a super team to me.
And you're saying Clay's leaving?
The Warriors aren't going to resign him, and Draymond is not going to resign either. They already know for the future they got to get working from 2 years ago. Hence why they got rid of Poole. Poole got that fat contract. The beef he had with Draymond got leaked. If that did get leaked, Jordan Poole still probably would have been shipped off. They know that's not who they can build their organization around once Steph's retired. So, all because he signed an extension this past offseason don't mean they won't trade him. Come on, this is business. You know, we've had some trade deadline stuff that happens like you don't see coming. And again, if LeBron goes to the Warriors, him and Draymond cannot work together. I'm sorry. So this TBD.
Draymond signed an extension this past offseason.
That don't mean nothing.
Draymond barely works.
Signed a 4-year.
Steph Curry.
Nothing. Okay, Smoooth. We'll see. Let me say this, Smoooth. We'll see if Draymond finished all 4 years on extension with the Warriors, or 3 years left now. We'll see if he does all that with the Warriors. I will bet money on that. That ain't happening. I don't care. You said $100 million. That's like with Ohtani. Go to baseball. $500 million contract, right? Oh, they will never get rid of him. And A-Rod, when he had the biggest at the time, did he not get traded? It's business first. People got to realize we're fans. We have passion behind it. But a lot of those people in those boardrooms and the operators, GMs, and presidents and owners give two flying. They want to know what the bottom line looks like and who's going to help offload some of their money spent to make more money. I'm just saying. I look at it as a fan, but I also look at it as business. I don't say I don't like it, but hey, it's just what all these organizations, if you hear more and more former athletes are trying to be owners of teams, you hear that, right? That's not like because they're twiddling their thumb, they retire, they have nothing else to do. They want to make more money. And of course, see if they can do a little bit of their brain that they know how to do the sport well. But I'm telling y'all, it's the fact that the emotion has to come out of it, and you look at it from the business side, and that's why some of these moves, or most, are being made. But I'm not a GM. Nobody's gonna hire me for that. But
they might money. Don't sell yourself short. They might.
I mean, I want that call like Michelle got. Hey, you heard that this is gonna happen. What you think?
Right. Look, somebody gave me I got a little birdie out there. Somebody
make that birdie an eagle. What is that? So speaking of, I said MLB earlier. Jobo. Hey, I'm sorry, Tiffany. Do you have all this time with us? Do you have a few more minutes to spare to keep hanging with us, or do you have to go?
Sure. Yep. I have a few more minutes.
Yeah. I know it's a school night, so I'm like, shoot, but we've been rolling. We've been doing so good and great laughs and stuff. I'm just saying.
I am enjoying this.
And was it all that you thought it was going to be, or you just like, oh, it's going to be a few minutes and they're going to ask me and I was going to be done? How you think?
No, I think it's all. It's all I thought it was going to be. I think I was sending emails like, is there some prescriptive questions? Like, what are we going to do here? How should I prepare?
We just go with the flow.
But I like this informal feel. I like this. Yep. It doesn't feel like an interview. Like the interview that I just had to go through, that was stressful.
Let me go back there real quick. So, I had to ask that because I didn't get to ask a lot of questions during that. How intense was that though? Because that seems to be, and I've been through a couple interviews.
I had to do a presentation twice. Then I had to come back. I interviewed three separate times. And the first two times I had to do a presentation, which I'm fine with that. Like speaking in front of people, I'm not, that doesn't give me anxiety. But the third interview, I didn't think I was gonna make it.
You know what?
It was intense.
Sometimes when you don't think you make it, you probably did all right. I would say clearly you did all right.
Right. Yeah.
So,
the Lord was on my side. I tell you that.
Were these, like, when you do these interviews, are they the panel people? They're an hour each. Like I said, you said presentation. Like, I've never had to do that. So enlighten me. How does it work?
So the presentation, I had 10 minutes to respond to the prompt that they gave me. And then after the 10 minutes, they asked me some questions. Some of the questions, were lingering from the presentation, but then some of them, they had already prescripted those questions. And that was the first round and the second round. And then the third round of questions, they just kind of dug a little bit deeper around the presentation. I also had to do a writing sample. And so they asked questions about like what I put in the writing sample too. So I had like, obviously I was prepared for the presentation because obviously I did the presentation. But then with the third round, there was really no way for me to prepare for that one. So yeah, I think that's why I felt a little more anxious about the third one than I did with the other two.
You know how you see the memes where they're like, when they lied on the resume and they doing the job, they doing something, they not really doing it. They ain't no lying on your job because they made you do everything. You had to do a presentation.
Yes, ma'am.
They was proofreading your stuff, checking, make sure you was no plagiarism.
not using AI to write.
Not using AI. We couldn't do none of that. Yeah. You were right. Like resume said I can facilitate and I can do this. Okay, prove it.
Right. You know what? I think more people need to do that. I really do see that, you know, in different things that I've done and worked at. It's sometimes you work with people and you look at resumes, you don't get a whole lot of time to make decisions and make choices or ask questions. You can only ask and you can only trust your judgment and hope that what they say they could do. And then sometimes people come to the job and you're like, wait a minute, hold on. Back here, right here, page 2.
Right.
It is. I'm trying to teach you how to do it now. I thought you said you could. Okay.
Right. I did that as an athletic director trying to hire coaches. I had them like run a practice. Like that's part of the interview. I need you to run a practice so I can see what you would do and how you would run a practice because the resume says one thing, but when I get you out there with the kids,
that's good.
How are you really gonna show up?
Do a lot of athletic directors do that?
They do. I think now more and more it's starting to be done that way. I know a school, I don't even know if I can say the name of the school, y'all, but a school did just hire a coach and they had the coaches do the same thing. Like all of the coaches had to run like a 45-minute training with the basketball team.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Do you miss coaching? Are you going to coach in your new role?
I can't. Yeah. Sometimes I miss it, but sometimes it's like, I'm glad that those 12 years of my life are over.
But she says she does retire, or when she does retire, if she has room, she'll go back to doing coaching. So
a tournament director. I want to be a tournament director.
Tournament director. Oh, okay. Yeah. Tournament director. Okay.
So I can treat people right. I'm not saying they don't treat people right, but some of this stuff is like, why are y'all doing this? This is not right.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So,
yeah. We've been there. We've seen a lot of the things. Okay, all right.
You're the producer. You got produce for you, honey.
You know what? Smooth to find him. You got it out there.
He does his detective work.
I'm about to say his next life, he's gonna definitely be a private investigator because he knows how to find the receipts. Okay.
Right.
That's a good one. Okay.
Tell what this is. Yeah.
So I was recognized by the National Coalition of 100 Black Women as being an educational advocate. So that's me receiving that award, me giving a little speech about educational advocacy, specifically for girls and Black and brown children. So that's my heart. That's, how I lead is with advocacy in mind about or for all kids, but specifically Black and brown kids. So that's what that was about.
Beautiful. Amazing. Yeah, I see why the school chose you as their assistant superintendent. So, especially have a passion for, it's one thing to just want to work and do things, but to have a passion for things, it just excels you in other avenues, I think. So, hard work pays off, passion pays off.
Mm-hmm. That's why I show up the way that I do too at games, Michelle, is because I'm still advocating on behalf of the players.
And she brings that energy too. Look, don't play with her kids or her teams or any kids she knows. It's not even just about her child, because I've seen her advocate for kids that she knows and she's friends with, for other sports moms that she's had interaction with. So, just being able to be out there, and watch you just interact and your kid ain't playing, you'll be at another court watching somebody else's kid or my kid or whoever on our team. So it's not, we build relationships in sports. A lot of times we're on the same teams, but when we get to know parents and kids, we always have those relationships. And I think that's one of the best things that sports and being able to meet great people. And that's how we build a network. And that's how people, when they see you, and they're like, oh, that's Miss Tiffany, that's Miss Buchanan or Miss Parker. However they want to call it.
My maiden name.
Yeah, they know that you were there for the kids, and that, you know, the boy, all the boys love you. All the kids, they know Miss Tiffany. But when we were younger, it was our first name. What, I was Mickey's mom, you Josiah's mom. We didn't become until later. So, but my dog.
Hi, cutie.
Girl, tell me, I got a dog and 2 kids and multiple things going on. But
you got your white picket fence as well. I mean, what else?
There's a white fence back there. I don't know if it's a picket, but it's white. But I don't. It's cool. No, so sports. Tiffany, we didn't get to talk about AAU. I'm sorry, Bunny. I don't know what's on the agenda tonight. I looked a little bit, but you know, I like to deviate.
Just do your thing. Just do your thing.
Go ahead, have at it.
So, you know, I don't get a lot of time to talk sports and AAU, and you know, I live a different life on middays. So right now, you know, we've seen some of the, you know, the Lou runs, they just had that. And I saw some of the comments that were mentioning like, oh my God, these kids they're not playing. They're way older than what they are. There's no way they're playing at this type of level like that, and this and that and all the above. And I know, you know, we've seen, you know, our kids play, and we went out and we've seen kids, you know, we thought we were like the big kids, and we go out and we see other big kids. And I don't think people truly understand that these children and these young people have really put in the work to get recognized for what they are doing at such a young age. And it's just going to amplify the game. I really feel like in St. Louis, some of our kids in this middle school era kind of set the tone for what we're seeing right now.
Yeah.
I'm a firm believer.
You know, we started young. And we were doing things at a young age that other teens that were that young just didn't do. And I do think that was pivotal in how hard some of those coaches went with those teams. And so as a result, I think the class of 28 is probably one of the most dominant classes that I see on the circuit. We're just having so much talent, you know, like across all the teams that we see. There's just a wealth of talent in the class of 28. But I do think that, you know, we started young and we were doing things at a young age that most teams at that age weren't doing.
No, I look back at some of the videos and some of the faces of what these kids were doing. They were just like, did he just knock that 3 down, like 3 in a row? Yeah, he just did. And that's the work he was putting in. And did he just drive to the hole without? He doesn't travel. No.
And do a spin move in first grade and didn't travel. Yes, that was the thing.
Yeah, we had to have a team from New York. Was it New York or Maryland? Where'd they come from? They was like, hold on, we need to go see them because they was equally yoked. We've seen some good teams, and teams have traveled to see us. Do you think the game is going to change again? Do you think it's going to evolve? I mean, I'm seeing, you know, I crack up when I see the ranking for class of 2032.
32, yeah.
What? Hold on.
Already? Come on. Okay, 7th grade. They start rankings in elementary, I know, but I'm like, please just at least wait to middle school. Come on. 2032.
Oh no. It's going on right now. It's a money, and I don't want to say it is a money grab at the end of the day. It's about money. AAU sports is bringing in more money than you can imagine. I don't know the numbers, but it's not like what it was when my oldest son was playing basketball or he was in sports. We were in the YMCA. I was spending maybe my $50 and I was getting like the back and forth penny. Now these kids, we are traveling in 2nd, 3rd, 4th grade. We are spending money on hotels. We are spending money on training. There is so much going on right now. And as a parent, I enjoy it. I like to travel with my son. I like to let him see different things, and to be able to see him play at this kind of caliber level. It's not like I'm taking my kid out there and he doesn't know how to play. Obviously, if he doesn't play, I'm not going to take him. We're going to start here. But we've gotten to a certain point, and a lot of these kids that you're seeing right now, especially that we just saw at the event a couple of weeks ago, they put in the work and they go travel, and they're setting themselves up for the next level in high school. And now you have things like NIL and things for and some are getting it in high school now. So I think it's setting the tone of we really gotta focus on something, right? What is it going to be? Which sport is it going to be? Are we going to train? Because you can't just, and this is just me telling other parents too, you can't just sit around and wait until high school. I mean, you may get lucky. You may have that just athlete. You may have that LeBron that you've been sleeping on. You put him in there and he's just going to go. But a lot of times I talk to parents like, you should get them in some training if you really want them to stay involved in these things, because what happens is all these dominant kids right now are going to start pushing out the kids that are just starting, because they're not going to like it. They're not going to want to play. To me, that's just my opinion. I am an advocate of starting kids young. Not necessarily traveling or going to, you ain't got to go to Egypt to go play. Our coach used to be like, all right, this weekend we're going to Cancun, get your bags. I'm like, wait, what?
but we went, Michelle, we went. We're like, yep, let's go. We went.
Like, all right. Hey, coach. But I know your children are younger, Joe, Bunny, right?
Yeah, I have a 3-year-old daughter.
5 and 2.
Oh, it's coming. I have some coworkers and some friends I deal with. They have soccer players and basketball players and high level that travel really young. So
it's another one. All the shit is expensive. All of it.
Yeah, dance is very expensive as well.
Yeah,
dance and gymnastics
is
Hey, Tiffany, your Celtics have advanced.
Oh, I know. I checked that score a long time ago.
Oh.
I wasn't worried. That's why
she never any doubt.
She was not worried. She said, "Nope, nope, and nope."
Right.
Is there ever any doubt? No.
You shall see. TBD, ma'am. TBD. I hope the best. I really do. I want St. Louis to get an unofficial championship via Jason Tatum. So.
Do you think St. Louis will ever get like a professional sports? I mean, look what they're doing with
which sport?
NBA.
Well, just some sort of basketball. NBA.
I asked that to a few broadcasters that we've had on our show. A few radio personalities as well. And I probably had only one that said possibly. Everybody else says no. And I'm like, why?
Why did they say no? But why?
I'm on the no side too.
Why do you think?
I mean, so if you don't know, for majority of your ticket sales in general is corporate. That's why they want the club suites and all that. That's a lot of your money. And then the ads around the stadium is corporate. So you definitely need the corporate buy-ins in your city to be able to sustain a team. So I'm like, we do have corporations here, of course. Y'all know we already have sponsors with Blues and the Cardinals, and now you can add the Battlehawks, CDSC.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, can they see the NBA team compete with the NHL? Because the NBA and NHL seasons are parallel. They're probably like 2 weeks off. NHL playoffs are going on right now like NBA. So that means for St. Louis, with our market size, like they don't know if we can sustain that with basically every day we're gonna either have an NBA game or NHL. Can we sustain that for a whole 5 months? They don't see that. I'm like, you put the right people to back it in money, we could.
So I guess
you got Cardinals and Blues playing.
Yeah,
the year.
They're not parallel for a long time though. That's literally like 2 months. Like you gotta count April and May for the most part. So and that's pretty much playoff with the Blues and April hit. So for a whole season of NHL, you're talking about September through April without playoffs. NBA October through April without playoffs. So
we got baseball going on right now. We got St. Louis SC going on right now, right? They just started.
Girl, they see this so long. They're damn near 12 months. They go from like literally.
I think Joe wanted to extend it. Is this a game you wanted to extend, Joe?
Not soccer. I want more baseball, baby. Baseball.
My bad. I forgot. I should have known. Joe's baseball, everything. I want everything baseball. But you got the Battlehawks going on right now. Look what the Battlehawks are doing. They're not taking away from
They're doing great. Now the rest of the league for the UFL, I was told not so much with attendance, but again,
that's how it was.
We're a sports team or a sports town. Sorry, I tell people all the time, and not just the baseball. We support when you bring the teams in. We do.
Well, that's why I don't understand why we wouldn't be able to have one of an NFL team, or forget the NFL. I'm over that. I want to see an NBA team here. I think that'd be cool. I think for sure the city would be able to support it, support the team, whether it's good or bad right off the bat. Like no one knew what the Battlehawks were going to be before the pandemic happened. And,
Right.
we were selling, we sold, well, not sold out, but we sold out what they were selling that home opener. And then the hype of a California team, Stan Kroenke's team, coming here, and then the pandemic happened. But like all of last season, we seen what happened. This year, you see what happens. Like that's just UFL or XFL, whatever the hell it's called now. Like, like it's just these. Like McCarron literally went to go be like a bench quarterback and then came back, and we're sitting here and we're literally jamming packed, the dome down there. So I mean, like, you can't tell me that we wouldn't be able to support an NBA team.
I think we could. Hell, give me a G League team. I'll start with that at least. Something.
Yeah, let's start there.
Something. I mean, the SLU games, get pretty packed. Mizzou games get pretty. I know Mizzou's, like you said, a couple hours away, but I mean, St. Louis just loves sports, so I don't understand how.
Some of these high school and look, I was at a Tiffany. We were at a middle school game. I'm like, this is middle school.
Yeah.
We go to some of the high school games. I'm like, wow, St. Louis, we love sports, and I think it just needs to be reevaluated on what we should have here. I think we need a little bit more, and they need to, especially with more kids playing more sports and being more active in more sports and really engaging more. I think I definitely think we need to have.
And I just don't get, like, I understand that like Texas is huge and California is huge and New York's big, but like, why do we need 4 and 5 sports teams in every single league for all those places? But St. Louis can't get a freaking NFL team or an NBA team. Like, how does that even make sense? It doesn't make sense at all. Like, everyone in the world can see that St. Louis supports their sports teams, whether they're good or bad. I mean, like, the Blues haven't been good the last 2 years. Obviously, like, last year the Cardinals weren't great, and they're not great this year, but people are still, like, somewhat viewing it and going to the games. And it's, well, with baseball, with the Cardinals, it's not because of the team itself and the players. It's because of ownership keeps feeding us bullshit, really. But and then it's just now 2024, people are finally starting to like understand that, hey, if we don't show up, maybe things will change. But it, like, that's just now. So I don't know. We could talk about this every single Wednesday. Like, I don't. And you know what? I think we probably do. Mona said she's asked multiple people on here before, like, why do we not have a football or NBA team? And I don't know. It's just
like I listen to ESPN 101 a lot, and of course, it's the same sports talked about. Like, they really don't even talk a lot about the City SC, and I'm surprised at that. That's a homegrown team, and they don't even touch on that a lot. Maybe their fan base is still trying to get a feel for it, but I was like, at least give me some more basketball talk. I mean, they'll do in the season, when SLU's in season, Mizzou, they'll do a little basketball there, but even on the NBA side, you just don't hear enough of it. I'm like, because I know we're not in St. Louis, but I'm like, oh, it is a void here. Somebody needs to fill it, please.
You mentioned Mizzou. Do you see what they're getting ready to do to their facility?
Yes, upgrade it to make it like on the top 5 of SEC teams. Yes,
they are definitely trying to attract a different type of, not a different type of crowd, but more of a crowd. More. It's just going to bring more people in. So
it's definitely going to work too. And again, if you're in the SEC, football is God, and you got to be competitive if you don't have what everybody other SEC teams. And that's the thing for in the Southeast, because most of those states don't have professional like NBA, NHL, NFL teams. Most, not all. They have a lot of money put into their collegiate sports because they don't have that much competition. They don't, and being in St. Louis, we do. You can say Nashville, they're growing because Nashville got their NFL team, they got an NHL team. 4 hours away, the other side of Tennessee, you got Memphis with the NBA and the Grizzlies. So that's a one-off per se, but you go like to Alabama's, Mississippi's, Kentucky's, that's
going to be a beautiful thing. And that's an hour and a half from my house right there. So that's going to be my NFL.
That is,
that's going to look nice. I'm telling you, like, But till then, maybe somebody else can work their magic and talk in the ear of some other big shot that's the ownership group to bring the NBA team here.
I think they said that's going to be done next year. That's not going to take a while. They're just doing some renovations to the current building, and obviously not this year, but the next year. So we'll see. Oh, 2026. Oh man.
That's all right. You gotta get your season tickets. Get your season tickets still, Miss Shelley. You got time.
Right.
Well, they go up because they're gonna go
in the games now. Look, I be excited and want to go so bad, but always something going on that my kids got me going to. He signs us up for everything.
Once your son get out of high school and out of AAU stuff, you're gonna be like, oh my God, I forgot what it felt like to have all this time. I forgot what it felt like to travel and not have to be at a tournament this time or this time. You're gonna forget. You'd be like, oh God.
My goal is that he gonna go play something in college. He gonna have to be in somebody's
college. He can play in college, but I said high school once he gets out AAU stuff. I'm just saying that.
They're still gonna travel wherever he is going. Yeah, that's what she.
No, I don't. It ain't gonna stop. I don't know when it's gonna stop. It's gonna slow down, I think. But again, like
you don't have to run them to the practices. That's the other part. The practices you don't have to run them to. In college, it's different.
No, I ain't gotta go. You're right. I ain't gotta do all that. So I am gonna have a little leeway, but I'm still gonna be traveling. But they do still do AAU even in high school. Some of the kids still play high school ball, but they have their AAU teams they travel with. Because I think sometimes the AAU teams, they get more looks from the AAU teams than they do the high school ball. It just depends on where you go.
Which scouts will come in and look at who
and which circuit you play on and all that.
Which circuit?
You've ever been to like a EYBL event?
I have. I've been to EYBL, the Nikes, Adidas. I've been from Milwaukee to Kentucky. I've been to Vegas. I've been to we went somewhere down south. Yes. I did this was a few years back. It's been some years, so and that was pre-pandemic. So it was a little cheaper, but it still was like, oh my God, every weekend, like you said, hotels, food, this and that. Football a little bit too. We did a little bit of football as well.
Football, we don't. That was one sport we traveled a little bit in, but it wasn't one of those. Like, I know some parents that do it. I guess travel a little bit more with football. We didn't, even though my husband coached the team. We did a little bit, but it wasn't like basketball. Basketball, travel. So
basketball, we 3 out of town tournaments a month. With football, we did maybe 1 every 2 months. But with basketball, gotta have a separate account just for AAU.
Yeah. I remember last year I was like, wait, we in 3 Dallas, Memphis, Kentucky. Wait, oh my. Okay. So. But and we all did it. We fundraised a little bit, and then we all got excited. We joke and laugh. We got to get our OnlyFans and to support our travel funds. But then we right there with our kids, and in a gym,
paying those overpriced tournament fees.
That part,
or tournament entry fees. Yeah,
yeah. Joe has no idea. Her baby 3 years old. She's gonna be there soon.
Just wait, Joe. Just wait.
I know she's gonna play baseball.
Huh?
You gonna have her playing baseball, softball, something? Is she interested?
The only thing she's doing right now is she does gymnastics.
There we go.
She seems to really enjoy that. I said earlier before you got on here was that she loves Christmas, but lately she's been saying, "Mom, Christmas is over. Now it's baseball time." So she loves baseball.
She is setting that scene.
Yeah, so yeah, she I don't know, she just at that stage where she'll swing a bat, she'll kick a soccer ball, she'll do a little bit of everything right now, honestly, but whatever she wants to do, if she wants to do gymnastics, then that ain't my thing, but I'll support her.
You're gonna support it. Joe's gonna be like, is there a baseball game going on this weekend at this gymnastics tournament? Because I see a lot of parents travel with their kids for gymnastics too. It's just as huge as like baseball.
It is like yeah, the place she goes to is, man, you wouldn't think that girls doing gymnastics are like ripped, but man, they got lots of muscles on them and poof, doing all this. Shit. I don't know, like I watch them, like my shoulders hurt.
You have to be, yeah. I've seen. I'm like, wow, her shoulders are like she's 9.
Yeah, Yeah, I don't get it, but it is kind of funny watching her now. It's like they got like the little kid section. It's hilarious. They half the time aren't even paying attention, but she's learning things. Every week she's like, I want to do a backflip, and so we'll see. We practice with her at home. She's really good at her tuck and rolls though, or somersault, whatever they're called.
Okay. So, well, Tiffany, what's John gonna do? What is she in? Is she doing gymnastics or anything?
Not currently. She's not. She wants to get back into dance. I don't know. We'll see.
That's gonna be a problem one right there. She gonna run all out.
So my niece just started playing basketball this year. She's a sophomore, but she's like really good. Like to be a sophomore, just starting to really play organized. Like she's played outside with the boys and all of that. So my daughter said, I'm just gonna start in high school like Mariah. And I was like, well, Mariah may be a little on the gifted side when it comes to playing sports. You may not have that gift. So we're gonna start you earlier. And we tell her like, okay, you got practice today. She's like, no, I'm not ready. So I don't know. We'll see.
Do you think parents, like if kids say, I don't want to do this, or I'm not doing that, or I'm over it, but we know they're talented and we know that they have something that we should somehow maybe not make them or find a way to keep them involved in that?
That's a sensitive topic for me, Michelle, because Josiah doesn't want to play football anymore.
Oh, well, but I guess that's the same question. I don't know. Yes. Okay. Equally yoked. Yes. Talented football player. I can still see him.
Still, but I'm just like, please just play.
I think coach's heart still broke. You're like, dang, that's a talented kid right there.
Yeah. So I'm hoping whatever high school he goes to, they'll see him walking the hallway and, love on him enough so he'll say, I'll play football. But yeah, there's nothing I can do. I can't.
Yeah. Other than Mickey liking basketball, I think more than football right now. I think he's shifting his mind frame on what position he wants to play, and I'm like, really? I can't make the decision for him, but if I could, I would. Yeah, I do try to plant them seeds. Like, you sure you don't want to do this? You don't want to do that? He's like, no. Okay.
Yeah, we ain't gonna force them, but we'll have it playing on the TV and plant the little seeds here and there. Be like, I would really like for you to do this.
Yeah. So I wish I had the answer of how I could get him back into it again. And like I said, at least for a year, because he's so talented in it. But I think he's heard the conversation. Like, you're going to have to decide. Like, once you get to high school, you're going to have to decide on what your focus is going to be. It's going to be basketball. It's going to be football. It's going to be track or whatever. And so he's decided earlier that his focus is going to be basketball. But I'm praying that he, will say, I'll give football one more try.
What about the kids that we know they're talented and they just don't play they stop completely? Right. Parents are like, he's just running with the wrong people, or he ain't engaged. I mean, I feel like parents at that point should not give up, especially if you're something that's coming out of your mouth. He's running with the wrong people, or he's getting in trouble, or he's doing this. No, you're going to go over here and you're going to get this work.
And I think too, though, that's where that bridge with the parents and education that we were talking about earlier. If I see a kid, and again, not all Tall's kids have to play basketball or have to play, baseball or anything of that nature. If it's not involved in high school, period, right? Like some sporting events, some activities should wrap their arms around those kids and say, hey, try this or try that. And you just may never know. Again, to me, it's about exposure and access. They don't know what's out there if they don't know what's out there.
True.
And so I think, for me as an athletics/activities director, I was keen on trying to figure out which students are not involved in anything. Let me tap those kids, see where their interests lie, and see if I can get them involved in something. And so I don't think it's solely on the parents, right? Like, it's our duty as educators to tap into potential of students, and we have to figure out where their potentials lie.
And you said a key word. You said activities, because I always resort back to sports, because obviously we're a sports family, so we engage in sports and our kids are involved in sports. So I'm not really concerned about a whole lot of free time to get in trouble. They can find it anywhere. They can find 5 seconds if they really want to. But there's kids out there that aren't doing anything. I saw a news report. Another state kids was stole a truck. They ended up, they all passed, but 2 of them had on ankle monitors and 2 of them had warrants, but none of them were over the age of 16. And it's the activities part. How do you, in the schools, like you said, okay, you're tall, you should play basketball. What if they don't want to play? What are other things that they can get involved in? I know there's things out there, but I think the stigma is, oh, we don't want to do that. That's not cool. So I'm just going to be out here in the streets because that's cool. But that the club over here is not, or this club over there. I just watched me and the Hubs was watching a bowling championship, and I was intrigued. They were focused. He was focused on them strikes. I'm like, this young man, his parents was there cheering him on. I'm like, you know what? I said, that's his basketball. That's his activity. That's the thing that kept him straight in what he wants to do. So,
yeah, I was reading this book once, and this guy said something in his book that just resonated with me so much, and I think that drives me as an educator too. Basically, what it boiled down to was he said that in whatever phenomena we affirm kids in, that's what they gravitate toward, right? Because they're looking to be validated, and they're seeking to feel safe in something. And so whatever we affirm them in, that's what they gravitate towards. And so I think about my own son, like, we were basketball players. My whole family were, they were all basketball players. So that's what he feel affirmed. That's what he feel affirms in. And so he has gravitated toward that the most. The same way with the kids that you just described, they feel affirmed in that activity.
Right.
Though it warrants, a lot of negativity, that's what they feel affirmed. And so if we affirm them in the arts, if we affirm them in STEM activities, if we affirm them in whatever, that's what they're going to gravitate towards. And I just don't think we do enough of that.
That's true. And that would make sense. Like, a lot of kids are seeing things young that aren't involved. If their parents are involved in this, and the people that run around and the streets are involved in that, and that's what they know, that's what they're going to get affirmed in. And that's kind of a sad thing, because then too, they come to school and those are the kids you have to deal with trying to, as an educator, to try to, and their parents aren't engaged because it's a trickling effect. And I don't know how we do some of that.
Right.
So, hey, you mentioned one other thing, so we didn't talk about it. So did you tell them you was an author too? You were an author. You wrote a book. They
mentioned it. Yep, I am an author. Shout out to me. I do have 2 books both on Amazon. Yep, there's one of them, Looking for You. That's the second book. That's actually a spinoff, if you will, of the first book. The first one is called All I Have to Give, and they are on Amazon.
Any other books coming out the pipeline?
I'm actually thinking about rebranding Looking for You. And honestly, I was thinking about putting them together because they are a spinoff. So think about putting them together, rebranding those. It's a thought that's circulating. I do have another one brewing. I just haven't sat down and outlined it yet, but there's more. I do have a passion for writing too. So there's more in me. I just gotta birth it at some point.
You gotta find time too, because I know you got a lot going on in your plate coming up this year, and the sports, the travel, the family, the kids. But after you get acclimated in the new role, what's the next steps you think is going to come out for Tiffany?
Well, I'm actually in school too, so.
Okay. All right. Well, all right. There's a sliver of time left somewhere.
How did you find time for us tonight?
I had to make it. I had to make
My
time.
God.
You make time for what you want. Like when Smoooth reached out, I was like, oh, absolutely. I think I was on when Michelle interviewed Kennedy. And I was commenting, and Smoooth was like, "Oh, she put her resume on there. We got to get her on." So,
yeah. So a lot of great conversation. A lot of times too, we have sporting events is a place for great conversation and talking about just different things in the sports atmosphere and just our kids in general and just life, the way lives. So. Sports brings a lot of people together of different backgrounds, culture, diversity, and we can end up having great conversations. And you just never know who you're going to meet, who their background is. And I think it's an amazing thing. So.
I agree.
Trying to see, Joe, was this supposed to storm in my house, in my area, in North County?
I have no idea. I don't know if anything happened, if a nader went by or not. I couldn't hear it, but
That's what
if a nader came back or not, came through. I know my husband and my daughter are home now, so I'm assuming we're good to go. We made it. The house is still here, it's still standing.
Okay.
All
right. Well, you're on the middle of nowhere,
right? In Imperial.
Oh.
Bunny and Fred, they all say the Boondocks, but it's a nice area out here. I love it.
No, I've been down. I know where that area is. It's not bad. It's not too far. That's not really the Boondocks for me. It's borderline, but it's not
borderline. Yeah. I don't know if oh, there's Bunny. I don't know if you guys have time for this or not. This is like a new-ish segment we do on Ladies Night. It's called We Run This. Tiffany, pretty much like if you could be a GM or owner of a league, what is something that you would want to change? Like I can go first right now. Just something off the top of my head is in hockey, they got the it's LTIR, so long-term injured reserves, and I think it's bullshit. I'm sorry, cross it out. I know it's a family show, but it's bad. Last year and this year you got Mark Stone. He abused it, and I'm gonna say abused it because there's nothing that shows otherwise. He's out for months at a time. They could still spend money and trade for guys. His salary has nothing to do with their cap. And then once playoff starts, it's a miracle. He's healed, and now he's okay to come back. This happened with the Lightning as well. Whenever they won 2 or 3 in a row, 2 in a row, I think. Nikita Kucherov, same thing, long-term injury reserves, and they were able to go out and trade for people. Doesn't affect their cap because hockey does have a cap, a salary cap, and then he came back for the playoffs and he was miraculously fine, and they went on to win the Stanley Cup. I just think it's BS, and they need to find a way to fix that because I don't think it's right. So that's my example. I don't know. I'm running out of these though, Smooth, so we might have to find another segment. But but yeah, that's mine this month.
Does it have to be a GM of a professional league?
No, GM or like you could be
a tournament director, like
right.
Or you could be a fan, just a regular old fan, honey.
Yeah, my tournament director. If I was a tournament director, I would let one parent in free for all the events for the parents to pay. I don't know. I would say that now until the money came in. Like, oh, wait a minute, hold on, I can't pay the referees. No, I think for real though, I would put a stop clock. What is that? The time clock on 6th grade and up.
Shot clock.
Shot clock. We do.
You have to enforce it though. It's supposed to be a shot clock in EYBL for 7th and 8th, and it's not. Some of the courts have.
Made Hoops was, I think, Made Hoops had it for 8th, and then we had it one game for 7th, and then we didn't have it for the next game. And I was excited when we had it. I'm like, okay, cool. We ain't got to see all this. I'm just gonna dribble for 45 minutes.
Yeah. So the rules say it's supposed to be 8th, but it's not. Some of it is 8th. So there's the inconsistency there, but yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna keep my eye on that. Well, that's my rule. Maybe let moms in free. And put a shot clock up. All right.
We run this. That's interesting. That's very interesting. I'm trying to think. There was a period like there's not. I don't know if many, if any, at all. So I would level the playing field. Like my position would have to be high enough where I could level the playing field for women to obtain some of these roles, like GMs or CEOs of big time corporations or big time sports teams or something.
I'm here for that one, Tiff. Yes. Hey, you can get regular, assistant superintendent, a radio personality, softball / baseball guru here. It's plenty of spots for everybody. So they should tap into your idea, Tiffany. I'm here for it. Mine is simple, but soccer, especially in the U.S. Soccer League here. Why does the clock run up instead of down? Maybe it's a psychological thing to me, but it should be like if 45 minutes on the clock and it runs down. In soccer, I don't know if y'all know, they have let it go up. So your first minute, second minute, third minute, 45th minute, it's just constantly going up instead of down. I mean, it's a simple fix to me. I don't know why. To me, that's the sport that does it opposite of the regular other sports. I don't know if it's a European thing, and they said we picked it up, but make the clock go down. So, only got so many seconds left. I know you can do that with the clock going up, but it's just backwards to me. Just let it help round down. That gets excitement for me. But then again, what's that? 90-minute clock anyway? So that's just.
I couldn't figure it out the first time I watched a soccer game. I'm like, where we go? What do we? Wait, what? What's going on?
Yeah, like, wait, what?
Yeah.
We add numbers. When's it end? How far are we going?
Exactly. Just let it run down. Yeah. Thank you. I don't know. That's my fix.
So we had another Porter get arrested?
Man, but that ain't my last name. That ain't my kid.
How many are there? Is there any more than
a lot? It's almost like the Ball family ×2, I think. I know it's a woman Porter as well.
They've got a sister that plays ball too.
Well, let's pray for her because
on ladies' night, come together.
Right. Yeah. So that's what I have. What about you all? Anything else? While that storm that Jobo brought my way is coming down now. Thank you, Joe.
I'm thinking that's what's happening. Are you up here in North County?
I stay on the hill side.
Something's happening because my service is not. You guys keep freezing on me.
Yeah, mine is. So I think something is happening.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I disappeared real quickly. Had to get these windows closed because sometimes it rains so hard and the wind comes. It comes inside the house, inside the window, on the floor. So it's all hands on deck. Shut these windows.
Well, no, the only thing I would say is, Miss Tiffany, can you tell them where they can find you? People want to follow you, get more information about you, learn about you, follow your journey.
Yep, I am only actively, and by actively, I'm not all the time, but only on X right now at Coach Parker 2010. I deactivated my Facebook years ago, but I think it may be time for me to reactivate it just because I've done so much. The last year or two, I think people are missing out on some things. But for now, it's just X at Coach Parker 2010.
Okay, because I was going to ask you about that. I was looking for you. I'm like, the heck? I know she was. Where'd she go? Okay. Yeah, it's time to reactivate. You got some stuff going on, and maybe just you have a lot that people can follow, and young people can strive for and look at as a positive role model. And I think we need more of that in social media and in the world. So. Yeah.
Appreciate that.
Continue to do great things. Again, congratulations. Big feet, big steps that you're doing. So I'm happy to hear that you got to do best of both worlds, education and athletics. Don't get that too often for women. So that's dope. So kudos to you. Keep doing better things. I can't wait to hear more about your name. And I'm like, she was on our show. We interviewed her.
Thank you. I enjoyed being on the show too. This was fun. This gave me a break away from just life after work, and even work after work, because sometimes I come home and I'm still working. So this was a nice break for me.
All right. It can be kind of therapeutic.
Yeah, absolutely.
But her sign behind her says shoes is cheaper than therapy though. So just saying, go shop for some shoes. She said that helps solve some of your problems instead of going to therapy.
Michelle know about retail therapy.
Well, I got a dog now. I got to pay for her haircuts and things. So, and sports, dogs and sports. That's what I need. Dogs and sports.
It has been fun, ladies. everybody that's been viewing tonight, thank you. And if you're on our Facebook page, make sure you follow the Platform Sports Talk Show. And if you say, hey, I'm not on Facebook like Coach Tiffany, but you can be on YouTube. Perfect. Platform Sports Talk Show. Go to our page, subscribe, and click on that bell. Play it on my daughter. But anytime we go live, you will be notified. And if you say, hey, I missed the show, but I want to hear what happened, let me catch up. Oh, here come my mic. And let me speed this up. Hot 365 Radio. It's always hot. Twitch. All my Twitchers out there, hit us up. Look at our show, Platform Sports Talk Show. Last Wednesday of the month, shout out to the fellas in the man cave. And of course, every first Wednesday of the month, you got the ladies' night. This was a great show, ladies. Oh, I'm sorry. We also on IG. I forgot, y'all. Platform Sports Talk Show. Follow our page there. We'll have highlights. We have snippets of the show on there. So again, just follow us on all our platforms. X, formerly is Twitter. We're at 314 Sports Talk. Follow us, you all. You will get great show feedback, all of that. Just hit us up. And shout out to our producer, of course, the one and only DJ Fred. I'm not DJ Fred, Lord. DJ Smoooth. Oh my God. I'm so sorry. But everyone, thank you so much. I loved all this talk, laugh, great conversation. Till next time, we are out of here.